This preceding broadcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Richard Ward Remax Beyond 2000. Richard Ward is a full-time realtor specializing in listing homes, new home construction, military relocation, and pricing strategies. Whether buying or selling, Richard Ward has the experience, knowledge, and determination to get the job done. For more information, contact Richard at richardwardrealty.com. That's richardwardrealty.com. Also, Hinckley Roofing. It doesn't matter if it's a business or residential. Your top roofer in Ohio is Hinckley Roofing. The job can be minor, it can be major. It doesn't matter because these incredible roofers have you covered from nail to shingle every time. They've been in business since 1958 and been a trusted member of the community since day one. They are family run and built on the principles of hard work, customer loyalty, and getting the job done to perfection each time. Perhaps best of all, they use only the finest quality roofing products such as Owens Corning Roofing System. Visit them today at www.hinkleyroofing.com or call them and visit them in person at 330-722-ROOF. That's 330-722-ROOF. Also brought to you by Seta Trophy. Seta Trophy has been a staple of the Northeast Ohio community for over 40 years for all your trophy and celebration needs. This trusted company is on time and completes work to perfection every time. Visit them today at 4335 Rocky River Drive in Cleveland. Game Day Tavern. If you're looking for a place to celebrate the big game, check out Game Day Tavern in Brook Park at 15119 Snow Road. They offer large flat screens, the hottest bartenders, drink specials, trivia nights, local bands, open mic night, and everything you would want in a great tavern, including the wildly popular Queen of Hearts. And now, with more on our sponsors, here's Cole McDaniel.
Kobo's Insurance has been serving the Cleveland area for over 50 years. They are independent agents, so they have lots of companies to find customers the best rate. They specialize in car, home, life, and business insurance. They are family run and have 2 locations, one in Elyria and one in Avon Lake. Cleveland Fitness Club. For 20 plus years, they have been much more than a place to go work out. They have it all: bikes, tracks, courts, and even pools. They truly have something for everyone and are open 365 days a year. You can visit them today at 6600 West 130th Street in Middleburg Heights. Jenny's Popcorn. Jenny's old-fashioned popcorn is a family-owned tradition that has been serving customers in Northeast Ohio and beyond for 65 plus years. You can find their flavors anywhere popcorn is sold, including Giant Eagle and Mark's. Visit them online at jennyspopcorn.com or in person at 727 Taylor Parkway, North Ridgeville, Ohio, 44035. Rocket Fizz Candy. Have a sweet tooth? Rocket Fizz Candy has you covered. With everything from your childhood today, they didn't miss a beat putting together this magnificent display of candy and soda paradise. You can visit them at 530 Euclid Avenue, Suite 22B, Cleveland, Ohio, 44115. Frankie's Italian Cuisine. Looking for a place to enjoy a post-game meal? Love Italian food? Frankie's Italian Cuisine has you covered from meatball to lasagna. Visit them tonight at 4641 Great Northern Boulevard in North Olmsted.
And now, today's broadcast. Cleveland FC versus Detroit FC. Welcome in, everyone, to the Kia Sports Podcast. Tonight, we are live from Detroit, as myself, Vince McKee, alongside with the best color man in the business, Cole McDaniel, will be bringing you this unbelievably important game between Cleveland and Detroit here in the finals of the Midwest Regional of the NPSL Championship Playoffs. Welcome in, Cole.
Thank you, Vince. Good to be with you for this. Always excited to watch Cleveland SC play, especially this big game against Detroit City FC.
Yeah, definitely a hot day down on the pitch today, so we're probably going to see numerous hydration breaks. And right off the rip there, fans watching at home, this is crazy. A smoke bomb went off in the crowd, and the entire crowd is engulfed in smoke. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, Cole. That's a new one.
Yeah, the entire crowd, and really the wind is blowing it all the way across the field, so going to be hard to see maybe even for the players for a moment or two.
You ever encounter that in your playing days at BW?
I have not, thankfully.
Wow, that's something. Well, fans, again, thank you for tuning in. We really do appreciate this. Throughout the game, we'll be talking about some more of our sponsors and whatnot. But before we get to all that, a big adjustment Cleveland SC has to make right off the rip here. One of their captains, Admir Saljevic, who has been a major focus on this team since back to the days of AFC Cleveland, the Royals, as you guys remember. He is not playing today. There was a bizarre incident late in the game the other night against Rochester. Well, first of all, he got called for a yellow, which was fair. He grabbed a jersey to kind of stop a breakaway, so that was a rightful yellow. But however, Cole, as we saw a little bit later on in the overtime period, I think I want to say it was the second session of overtime, he got shoved to the ground. I mean, unbelievable dirty play that really should have drew a red card for Rochester. It didn't. The kid only got a yellow. He should have been tossed. But Admir got up, didn't do anything. He might have said something, but when you get shoved to the ground in a double overtime game, I mean, you're going to have a little emotion. I don't know what he said, but he got tossed. So, long story short, guys, Admir Saljevic, as far as we know, will not be playing today. And in his place in the starting lineup is Alec Nagucki, who's actually had a pretty fine season off the bench there, Cole.
Yeah, and actually the game at Cleveland State, Chrysler Field, Nagucki actually, he scored off of a PK. Actually, he didn't take the PK. A man foot hit the shot. It was saved, came out. Nagucki, he followed it in, and he finished it off. And he played a great game in that one. And he ended up being the player of the match in that game. So certainly he's had a lot of time coming off the bench, but he's also had some experience starting. So you couldn't really ask for a better guy to come in and do that. And that's one of the nice things we've talked about this season with Cleveland SC. You know, not just a strong starting lineup with the older experienced guys, a lot of younger college guys too on the bench who would start on a lot of other teams. So it's always nice to have plenty of depth, especially when a situation like this happens.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We saw a little jostling there with Vinny Bell just trying to get the ball back to the sidelines there, and the Detroit player kind of shoved him. This might be a very feisty game. Detroit won their game actually 2-0 over Minneapolis. So to keep it simple for the fans, we're just going to call it by the cities today. You'll hear us say Cleveland and Detroit. And earlier, again, it was Rochester that Cleveland defeated in double overtime, 6-4, in one of the most wildest games in NPSL history. A shocker in many ways. Cleveland down 2-0 in that game, 5 minutes in, Cole. Just a wild one. They battled all the way back. They were down 3-1 with 5 minutes to go. Two incredible goals. Where they tied it. One by Vinny Bell. One, I want to say, it was by Tom Beck to tie the game at 3 apiece. And then they struck first in overtime. Vinny Bell again, 4-3. And then it was 4-4. Rochester tied it up. I mean, just crazy. Two more goals by Vinny Bell in the second overtime period to win it 6-4. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what their legs are like today. You know, a minute in here, they seem pretty fresh. Actually, we're entering the 4th minute of this contest. And I'll tell you, Cole, the first thing I noticed from this field here in Detroit, it's an actual soccer pitch. Like, there's no yard lines.
Right. Yeah, it is an actual soccer pitch. You can tell that it's definitely a worn down field, though. It's an older stadium. You can tell, you know, just from looking at it. And really, so one of the things with a worn down field is oftentimes, you know, not quite as good at padding. You're probably going to see it take some bigger hops, some bigger bounces, but you know, it still looks like a pretty smooth surface. Looks like a decent pitch for this game.
Mm-hmm. And number 27 of Detroit, that is Will Perkins, a defender, on the throw-in there. And Detroit will take it over from midfield here and look to get it going. They got a packed house. Good to see soccer fans. You know, Cleveland fans listening to this broadcast, we expect to see you next week. This is a very good team. You know, the easiest way I could put it, the number 1 seed in the bracket. Definitely want to get out and support them. But yeah, I got to give credit to Detroit. We have packed stands here today in a 95-degree heat. They're out there supporting.
And Vinny Bell, a guy you mentioned just a bit ago, 4 goals on that last game. Very impressive. Always good to see the forward scoring goals, and that's something we've talked about through the season. You know, when you're the number 9, you don't always have to play the best game as long as you produce. And Vinny Bell played a great game and bagged 4 goals, and you can't ask much more of a forward than what he did in the last one.
Absolutely not. All right. Good job there by Saveco to clear it out as Detroit was getting some momentum going. And, you know, early indications here as we enter the 6th minute, you know, I don't know. I'd have to say Detroit's kind of controlled it a little bit, but really hasn't done anything with it. But they have done most of the ball handling at this point. And in certain ways, it looks like Vinny Bell's on an island there every time they cross the 50. Whereas, there's no yard lines like we just said, so, cross midfield there. But, a long way to go, and we'll see where it goes. At this point against Rochester, Cleveland was already down 2-0, so definitely doing better than that. And here's Tom Beck. Man, Beck is a force out there. It was so clear last year without Tom Beck for a few games. We saw Cleveland SC struggle. And then again this year, he gets ejected from the Erie game. They end up losing. He had to sit out the Rochester game. They end up losing. That's just how big Tom Beck is to this team, Cole. He's a major force.
Yeah, the savior, though, for standing in for Beck was Danny Ruppel, though, coming off the bench. Danny, I think, especially with it being his second year playing with this team as well, he was, looking comfortable out there. He did a great job filling in for Beck, and so you can't ask for much more than that. And
shot off the top of the post. Sorry, Cole. I had
that's fine. It's actually super helpful to have a guy who has some experience out there too, especially when you get to this point, because like we saw, Manfoot came off yesterday, and Ruppel went in. And actually, it wasn't yesterday. It would have been 2 days ago. But anyway, Manfoot came off, Ruppel came in, and, it ended up going to extra time. So it was one of those situations where Ruppel had to play probably longer than they were expecting. And, it worked out for the team.
No doubt about it. And I got to say, the best two reserves off the bench, and we've seen them, spot start all season long, are your former teammates over there at BW. I can't stress that enough. Kurt Rainey, Danny Ruppel. In basketball every year they give a six-man award. The best player off the bench. I realize NPSL doesn't do that, but quote-unquote 12th man award, it would have to go to Danny Ruppel this season, with Kurt Rainey being a close second. Tom Beck with the throw-in, headed back out by Detroit, and back out of play it goes. And I got to say, it is pretty cool to see that many fans in the crowd. All right, Tom Beck lines it up. Here comes Beck. Throws it in, headed out again. Not sure what they're doing there, Cole.
Yeah, nobody was there. I understand the long throw idea, but you have to have somebody running near post to try to flick it on. That did not happen.
Nope. All right, Bobby Canchar will reset it out to McAvenue. And this is good to see Cleveland have the ball here. First time really they've controlled possession. And definitely in this kind of heat on the road, you want to take your time with it. You want to capitalize on every single chance you're going to get today.
How about Coney Arsic there in the midfield? In the second half of the season, he's really gotten a lot of time. He's been pretty solid as well. So I have to say that, especially in the second half of the season, he's been a good piece for Cleveland SC in the midfield.
Yeah, no doubt about it. First thing I'm noticing here, too, is Cleveland tends to be a little bit more laid back today as opposed to 2 days ago, Rochester. I mean, they were very aggressive, and they got in a lot of trouble with a lot of yellow cards, so maybe that's in the back of their mind. We'll see. Here's Tom Beck. Little 1-on-5 action there. Kicks back out. Also, we mentioned Saul Yevick. This is good to notice as well. Joe Korb will not be playing today. He has a concussion. So here's a long shot by Saveco in the box. Saved back to Detroit. So again, Cole will be without Saul Yevick as far as we know. I don't know if he's ejected for the whole game here to start or if it's a half game, but usually red cards do get you a full game going into the next game, so I'd have to imagine that's what it is.
Should be a full game.
Yeah. So we will see. But also Korb, who's been, again, kind of like a Rainey and a Ruppel, sometimes starts, sometimes comes off the bench. Joe Korb's been, vital this season. He will be out with a concussion. Here comes Detroit. They got a good look at it. Shot, and just wide of the net. Oh, my goodness. Cleveland SC might have dodged the bullet there, Cole.
Yeah, definitely. A good attempt. Just slid a little wide. I think Musa had a good chance of having it covered. It looks like he came out, cut off the angle, but certainly a good opportunity for Detroit and just a bit wide. Fortunate for Cleveland SC. So the two best chances we've seen so far in this game, one for Cleveland SC, one for Detroit. Pretty balanced game so far.
Yeah, good job there, too, by Bobby Canchar to kind of block a last-second view of the striker there for Detroit. Bobby Canchar hustled down there to get in the way and help out Musa any way he could. And if you're looking for some help, whether it's your home or office, you want to spruce it up a little bit, contact our guys over at Mullins Construction. It doesn't matter if it's indoor or outdoor. Mullins Construction has everything your home or office will need. They even do plumbing, hot water tanks, windows, and everything else your home or office will need. Visit them today at www.cretins.com/Mullins_construction. Also, MDG Flooring. We talked about the pitch, which is probably burning up. If you're your floor at home is scuffed up, if you have kids like I do who just cannot stop spilling stuff on it every 10 seconds, basically, if you're in need of quality flooring for your home or office, then look no further than MDG Flooring in America, in Medina. There's nothing that Steve and his talented staff cannot handle. Call them today at 330-725-5252 or stop in and visit them in person at 3812 Pearl Road in Medina. Good job there by, I want to say that was Rupel, was it not?
It's McAvenue.
McAvenue, I'm sorry, yep. Okay, here comes Detroit. And they're looking to score right here. Here, another shot. It is. Oh, my goodness, Cole. Right over the top of the post. Musa dodging bullets right now like Yosemite Sam.
And that's a beautiful curler. It's one of those where cut back. It reminds me a lot of years ago, the James Rodriguez goal in the Colombia versus the United States game where he cut back in, floated it up into that top upper corner. Just in this situation, not enough dip there for Detroit City FC. Good look, though. Great curler, just needs to get it down a bit.
No doubt about it. Musa dodging a bit of a bullet there. And thank you, Cole, with the history lesson. I love calling games with somebody who knows the history of the sport. It makes it a lot more fun. Here comes Tom Beck. Back inside, can't get it going. Man, they're really playing back Detroit. Every time we get anything going, I'm noticing Detroit's dropping like 5 guys in that box every time.
Yeah, Vinny Bell down here looks like he took a shot to the face.
Yep. Hopefully, he'll get right up here in a minute. Obviously, Bell crucial to this team. Could be a combination of sweat in his eye, too. I know it sounds weird, but if you get hit in the face at the same time you're sweating, it's just everything at once.
Yeah, it really looks like it was his nose. Looks like he took a pot to the nose, so they're going to look. There might be a little bit of blood.
Yep, looks like it. All right, we're going to take this break in the action to let Cole McDaniels tell you all about Charlie the Painter, Workout Factory, and something near and dear to Cole's heart, because this guy is unbelievably in shape, Middlefield Nutrition.
Charlie the Painter, does your home or office need a new paint job by a real pro? If your answer is yes, then contact Charlie Powell with Charlie the Painter Company today. He can be reached at 330-941-0465. For your next big or small job, you can also find him on Facebook at Charlie the Painter. He has been in business for 14 years and does each job to perfection. They cover it all, doing both commercial and residential. You get the most bang for your buck you will find anywhere. A reasonable cost for excellent work. Workout Factory. Are you looking to work off those post-holiday pounds? Have a busy schedule and need a place to work out that is always open? Check out the Workout Factory at 5508 Ridge Road in Parma, right off Ridge Road. Middlefield Nutrition. If you're serious about eating healthy and still enjoying tasty treats that are actually good for you, then Middlefield Nutrition needs to be your first stop every time. With the most delicious shake flavors you will find, this family-run business will take care of your every dietary and taste need. Visit them today and see for yourself why they have everyone talking. You can stop in at 14960 South State Avenue in Middlefield.
And Cole, before we get back to the action on the pitch there as we still go through this timeout, you know, high school football season's coming up, bud.
Right.
And a lot of people are going to want to wear the colors of their favorite team. Where should they go?
Game Day Sportswear, where you are going to go to get the latest gear for your favorite school or team. The answer is easy. Game Day Sportswear in New Franklin has you covered to make sure you are decked out in your favorite team's gear from head to toe. It doesn't matter what school or what team you pull for, because with their custom screen printing, anything is possible. Just tell them what you want and it is done. They offer heat press, embroidery, and vinyl printing. Visit them today at www.shopgameday.net or in person at 941 West Nemesilla Road in New Franklin. Check them out today and walk away looking good every time.
And we are back at it. Vinny Bell has been cleaned up. Had a few things shoved up his nose there to kind of stop the bleeding. Hopefully that works. You know, Cole, I can tell you, I'm 37 years old. I've never had a nosebleed. It doesn't look like it's fun. Excuse me.
Bless
I
you.
sneeze.
Yeah, I've never had any serious nosebleed. Now I do know of, you know, one time. It's the funny thing of you always play sports. You grow up and do so many things. One thing was when I used to play baseball. I'd take down the basement, had the basement wall, and I'd take this like rubber ball about the size of a baseball.
Did that?
And I'd throw it up against the wall.
Yep.
And one day I was working on line drives and launching against the wall and catching it, and one time just really got behind it. It hit the wall, couldn't get my glove up in time, caught me in the nose, and a little bit of blood, but that was the only time I've ever had anything close to a nosebleed.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. I mean, grew up much like you, playing sports my whole life, baseball, basketball, and even though basketball is really not the most physical sport, I mean, man, I was little. I was always the littlest guy on the team,
Right.
But I was like hungry. Like you couldn't tell me that I was small, so I'd always get in the middle for rebounds, post up a center, just do stupid stuff because I was like that aggressive. I caught some elbows over the years. There's definitely a shot or two as the years went on, but man, I'll tell you what, man, that to me, that's what makes sports so much fun is when you get a few nicks along the way, memories and just that's what it's about.
And the funny thing, you mentioned that about being the smaller one. Through club soccer, that was always me because, of course, they've changed things with the whole age thing, but this will bring back some memories for people who have dealt with this. But with the whole age range was you could end up being a trapped player. It was all about, a certain time of the year. So it was like right at the end of July, I believe, like the cutoff was like the last day of July. And so even though I was like old for my grade, that means since I was a summer birthday, I was having to play on the young side of the age group above me. So I was a trapped player. So my 8th grade year, my teammates were freshmen in high school.
Sure.
So I had to go down and play with a different team for the fall and then was back with them in the spring. So the whole old format of being the trapped player with the summer birthday.
Oh, wow, okay. When's your birthday, bud?
It's in June.
Oh, when was it?
June 21st.
Well, happy belated birthday,
Well,
my friend.
thank you.
We're learning all kinds of things about you today. It's like I was just telling your parents off air there. My daughter's birthdays are August 21st and September 10th. And uniquely enough, me and my wife got married on August 20th, so literally it was our 2-year wedding anniversary.
Right.
My wife was in labor, giving kind of birth through the night as labor goes. It's a ridiculous process. So it's just wild. Like August for me every year is so expensive because I have my wedding anniversary, my daughter Maggie's birthday, and my mom's birthday, and my wife's birthday. So wife August 2nd, mom August 15th, daughter August 21st, and anniversary August 20th. So definitely every August I need to take out that small loan.
And it's coming up fast. Better get prepared.
Thanks for reminding me. That's why we got to sell some more sponsors here. So, all right, Detroit back at it. 20th minute coming up here as we're actually in the 19th minute, but coming up on 20 any minute here. And, really kind of a lull these last 5 minutes. Not much going on. Maybe officially I'd say 3 shots on Musa. And so far 0 for Cleveland. But out of those 3 shots that we've seen Detroit take, I don't know, Cole, not many I would say, too close.
No, the closest one was the one that slid by the far post. Of course, it was a nice shot, that curler to the back post as well, but nothing they've been able to get on frame, Detroit. Now, the best opportunity of the game has been that deflection for Cleveland that did hit the crossbar, but really no opportunities besides that little deflection there was and possibility of that going in, but neither keeper really having to make any saves so far.
So here's Detroit FC back at it again. 20th minute of a 0-0 game, and this is definitely a huge game, chance to go to the Final Four in the nation. And you can see, I don't want to say either team is tight, but both teams being very careful because they know just the unbelievable importance of this game.
Yeah, and we always see in these games specifically, especially in the first 10 minutes. Now, sometimes teams can score and get the breakthrough, but you see a lot in soccer. The first 10 minutes, a feel-out period, and it just feels like with so much at stake with these two teams, it feels like the feel-out period's a little bit more extended in this game. I think it's one of those things. Neither team wants to, go so far forward that they get caught out and end up conceding a goal. So both teams playing it pretty safe so far in the first half.
Yep. Vinny Bell kind of just remaining on that island there midfield. Not much to help him out. Here comes Beck. Cleveland SC with a chance right now. Beck finds Bell trailing. Here's Vinny Bell to line it up. and booted out, but it will be a good throw in here. Haven't seen any corner kicks yet either. Just thought about that at this exact second. As Bell will line up a throw in, probably man-foot here. No, it will be Bell.
And that's one thing where, of course, we'll see it in the second half when some substitutions are made with guys like Rupel and Rainey and some other more of your quick speed guys, especially with Rupel out there. But one thing I'm noticing is that on counters,
shot there by Manfoot. Good save by the Detroit goalkeeper.
And one thing is on counters, we're seeing this Cleveland SC team really need to go a bit faster because Detroit, probably one of the best teams I've seen so far that Cleveland's played against at getting back and recovering against the counter, always seem to have numbers up on Cleveland.
Yeah, definitely good job there, though, and that could have been a great deflection. Manfoot, a beautiful shot on goal, a good save by the goalkeeper of Detroit, but he didn't save it cleanly. It bounced off of his chest. Lucky for him, a Detroit defender was also there to kind of bat it right back. If a Cleveland guy was standing there, it might be 1-0. Here's Manfoot again in the back. Tom Beck with a good chance. Here comes Beck. Shot deflected by Beck. From Beck by Detroit. Manfoot, good hustle there by Manfoot. And it looks like Detroit will be able to clear this.
And of course, Beck, a right-footed player, prefers to get on his right foot. You saw him try to cut in. Should have gone to the left, though. They're forcing Beck to go to his left, and anytime he decides to cut in and uses his right there, they're deflecting any shot. So needs to start thinking about going towards the end line and putting it across the 6.
Yep. Here's Nagugi. Out to, it looks like Mikey D. Yep, it's Mikey D. And they'll slow down here. Bobby Canchar. Over to Colton Long. And you saw kind of Tom Beck direct that we pointed to the goalkeeper just now to kind of reset it. Good veteran leadership there. We've seen a ton of that out of Beck. He is definitely one of the veteran leaders of this team. And without Soljevic on that pitch, Beck is really going to have to step it up today. Far angle there appears to be Bobby Canchar as our cameras pick it up. Midfield. Cleveland goes down. Mikey D got tripped up, though. We'll call the foul.
And we're seeing, maybe it's a little bit of the formation with Detroit, but we're seeing them have control of the midfield in this. Really the opportunities from Cleveland has been from getting it out wide and going in transition. But we're seeing it again, and we've seen it with Soljevic in the past against teams that have controlled the midfield, and we're seeing it right now with Nagugi. He's really having to slide out wide, can't stay in the middle.
Absolutely. Good job there by Saveco down the right line. Broke past 3 defenders and shot. You don't normally see a Saveco defender shoot it, so when Saveco, a defender, is in position to take a shot, it's usually going to be a good one like that was. But a good save there again by Detroit. Both keepers stepping up huge early on.
Yeah, and I think on that cross, I think it was going to go back more towards the PK spot. Looks like it got deflected, and that looks like the deflection carried it in closer to the goalkeeper. But again, good to get in those opportunities. A guy who I always like to see getting forward is on the other side, McAvenue. So far, not really an opportunity for him to go forward yet in this game.
Very true. Very, very true. All right, Detroit looking to get it out of there now in the Cleveland zone. Setting it up is Detroit FC. Again, fans, a reminder, you're listening to Keon Sports Podcast. That's KeonSports.com. I am Vince McKee alongside Cole McDaniel for today's action here in Detroit NPSL playoffs. And both goalkeepers have done a phenomenal job so far keeping things clean, the score sheets clean at this point. And if you want your house to be clean, contact Melissa Cusack of Great House Cleaning. Her top priority is customer service and ensuring that the people who hire her are not only satisfied but wowed by her work. She does one-time cleans, monthly cleans, bi-monthly, weekly, daily, whatever you need. Melissa Cusack with Great House Cleaning has you covered. I want you guys to contact Melissa and let her know that you heard about her services on the Keon Sports Podcast. You can contact Melissa today at 216-375-8460. Now, as I was doing that sponsorship read, it looks like it was a foul called again on Detroit, but not a yellow card here.
It was hard contact. Antonio Manfoot, not the tallest guy, so even when he goes up in the air, you get a bigger guy coming in, and that collision was really more of a shoulder to the neck of Manfoot, put him on the ground. Looks like he'll be okay, but definitely slow getting up after that big hit.
Yep. And it is a card.
Yep, and he got the card for that. Heavy contact there. Really a little bit of a dangerous play, a little bit incidental, but certainly card worthy because he didn't go straight up for it. He definitely lunged in towards Manfoot.
All right, early momentum for sure. As you can see here, fans packed in, wearing the Detroit faithful colors. Man, both sides of those stands are packed, Cole.
Yeah, it's good to see plenty of fans out there. It's certainly, as you get later in the season with this and teams continue to have success through the playoffs, you're going to see more and more fans continue to show up at all these games. So, again, we of course would love to see Cleveland win this, and we'd love to see plenty of our fans out there at these games as well. We need to see some more orange in the stands.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tom Beck with the throw in. Vinny Bell header. Save by the Detroit goalkeeper there. Good save there. But an excellent look on the throw in from Beck to Vinny Bell. And Detroit might have dodged their first bullet of the game. Back comes Detroit at this point in time. 27th minute, 0-0. Beginning the 28th minute here in a second. And Detroit FC looking to get it going. Here comes Detroit. Number 9 shoots it, or crosses it, I'm sorry. Oh, good save there by Musa. Out of play it goes, but a big-time save by Mario Musa.
Yeah, and that's where you oftentimes call him Super Mario Musa. What a great save. And that's how to properly head it, and people don't realize, but one of the best ways to head the ball is you get the most speed and the most pace off of. If you head it down, it hits the ground and skips, and then it oftentimes will take a good bounce and go up and in. Musa able to react, though.
Yep, and now the corner kick, another good blast by Detroit. Beautiful chance there by Detroit. Over the net it goes, so not a goal. And I'll tell you what, Musa had, man, I don't want to be too mean about this, but I'll say it. He had a horrendous game against Rochester. He made a lot of mistakes, came way too far to goal quite a few times. I don't know if he was nervous. I don't know what happened, if it was the heat. But very uncharacteristic for Musa, who we've seen take chances this year, but we've also seen him play smart. Easily his worst game of the season against Rochester. We still got out there with that win, but he's been on fire so far here in the 29th minute, shutting down every chance Detroit has had, and they just had back-to-back good looks there, Cole.
Yeah, and Musa's had a really good season.
Yes.
He was named to the East Conference 11, so not to take away from Musa at all, he's been phenomenal. There's been a lot of games where he's done well, but he has had 2 poor games. He had the one versus Erie, and then after that, because of the poor game, Daniel Nagy played, and Musa sat the bench. But from then on, Musa's had a good rest of the season, kind of redeemed himself. Did not have a good game the last one, like you said, against Rochester, but that doesn't matter as long as they won, advanced, and he's showing up today.
Yeah, saw there. Great job there by Ngugi to slide down and stop that, as Cleveland will get the ball back here. Detroit was looking to put it in again, and just a phenomenal job. I definitely want to say it's Alex Ngugi who did that. Number 6 getting the start today. I mean, just excellent there, Cole. I mean, he slid right in front of the path of that. Cole Long will boot it. Looks like it's going to go out of play. It does. But yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Musa's been a key factor this year. Quite a few shutouts. Even a lot of one goal games last week. Musa, we called it their win last week against Buffalo. 5-1. He's been dominant all year. So, yep, we gotta just hope that was a hiccup dealing against Rochester. And right now, it sure does look like it was. Here comes Detroit again. Not the yard lines. I want to say probably about 40 yards out here. Just in front of midfield, and they're actually playing it back to restart it. And you've heard all the sponsorship reads today, Cole. As a guy who constantly sells sponsorship for Keon Sports, I can't help but notice sponsor after sponsor after sponsor on the boards there. So good job to their sales, folks. And guys, if you want to be a sponsor for Keon Sports moving forward, we have high school football starting in a few weeks. You know how much we do with boxing. Just contact me, Vince McKee, at CoachVin14@yahoo.com. Again, you want to be a sponsor, you get a 30-second commercial read during every single broadcast we do. CoachVin14@yahoo.com. All sponsorships now also come with an autographed picture of Cole McDaniel.
Yeah, so you have to go for it then, right?
There you go. Bust out your Sharpie, my man.
Might as well, yeah.
Now this looks like it's going to be a corner kick here for Cleveland. Let's see where they spot it.
Yeah, and that's the first corner, and again Tom Beck going down the left hand side. Again, he tried to cut in, and it's just not there. That's why it got deflected out. Fortunate they got the corner off of it, but really needs to consider going to that in line with the left foot.
Here's Manfoot, header by Bell, header by back, shot! Oh, just missed. That would have been gorgeous. Manfoot with the corner kick, Bell and back to double B's right there. Let's watch it again on replay. Manfoot puts it right in the middle. Beautiful header by Bell to back. Oh my goodness. Cole missed by a matter of inches.
Yeah, and that's a poor header from Beck. It was a good one from Bell to put it back across. Beck, I think he maybe overran it a little bit. He had to step back. He was leaning backwards when he headed it, so it floated it up in the air. Not really much of a chance to go in when he heads it like that, but a great opportunity for Cleveland as the ball came right back across the 6.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Just kind of went straight up with it. Maybe if he would have put on a bit of a diagonal, he should have zigged when he zagged almost, just slide it. But easier said than done.
And that's one where he tried to flick it off of the left side of his head and tried to go towards the near post. I think he probably should have gone back across to the back post and see if he could have creaked it in about in the upper 90 there.
They'll reset it up here. Ball back to Cleveland on their end of the pitch. Tom back with the throw in. Kind of a lollipop one there. Goes out of play. Not sure what Beck was doing there. I mean, he never got it in play on that throw in.
Well, it had to have gone in play for it to be a Detroit throw there. It had to have come.
Must have bounced off the line.
It had to have come in because anything above the line is in play. So it's one of those things where if he threw it and it drifted in and then kind of bent out there, then it would have been a throw. If the ball never enters the field, it's a rethrow for Cleveland SC. So for those out there who want to learn how to stall time in soccer, have really bad throw-ins that don't even come in bounds.
Interesting. Bit of a scuffle there. Durechik bounced into a Detroit player who is down on the pitch, holding his shin. Looks like he's fine. This should definitely not be a yellow card. Saveco needs to walk away before he gets one. Smart move there by Chris just to cool off. Yeah, this should not be a card. Let's watch it again. Saveco slides in. Looked like a clean tackle with a little bit of contact, but at the very least.
It's a hard challenge coming in from a little bit behind from the side as well. I think this early in the game, that's not usually a yellow card. Maybe if you already had an earlier offense that was similar to that, probably would pick one up. So if he has a hard challenge in the second half, we will likely probably see Saveco get a card. But I think good call from the official to, in the 34th minute, not give that a yellow.
No doubt about it. Well, it's not a card, but if you're looking for a good car, you want to go see our guy, James McConville, over at Helene Kia. If you're looking for a new used car, check out James McConville at Helene Kia in North Olmsted on Lorraine Road. Jim is a trusted member of the auto community for over 20 years and will treat you right no matter your car buying need. Again, guys, it's Lorraine Road in North Olmsted. Walk in, Helene Kia, ask for Jim McConville. Tell them that Vince McKee sent you to see him. We've made comparisons all year long, me and Cole have, about hockey and soccer, the different variances of it. And if you are a hockey fan, let us take this moment to tell you about Hosier Hockey. If you're looking for the very best in hockey tape, wax, laces, and apparel, then Hosier Hockey needs to be your first stop every time. Visit them online at www.hosierhockey.org or on Amazon. We're watching soccer today. These kids have been playing their whole lives. And my daughters, I mentioned earlier, Maggie, who will be 6 in a few weeks, she plays soccer now, and she does it for the soccer shots. The grass will be green soon enough, and the pitch will be perfect for some outdoor soccer action. Sign your kids up today for Soccer Shots. It's an excellent program to teach your child about exercise and overall hard work.
And of course, Vince, you're always on the broadcast too for your kids' games, right? Always out there, have the mic, getting ready to go, always announcing your kids' games.
I try. It's funny, I don't. I am that parent that, because I love soccer as much as I do, and I want my daughter to be aggressive and play hard, I really have to calm myself down from being that, that father who won't shut up on the sidelines. It is tough. So the funny thing, though, is that her coach is a former Cleveland soccer player. His name's Josh Grossman, who is on both of their indoor teams. And some of you in the soccer community obviously know Josh Grossman, very good guy. Recently just got married, and he's actually asked me to help a little bit. So it's been fun at times. And but overall, Cole definitely 6 years old, 5 years old, 4 years old. Don't need my loud mouth calling games, but I do appreciate the joke though.
Yeah. Could be like that movie Kicking and Screaming from years ago. Will Ferrell, Mike Ditka, take it super seriously with the little kids.
Yeah. It's co-ed too, so it's kind of funny because, it's like she's learning how to play with boys. It's just all in all, it's funny to watch. And she's good. She's just not aggressive enough, which drives me nuts. Like she's worried she's gonna knock over the other little kids, and it's like I just constantly tell her like, Maggie, you're not gonna get in trouble. Like just get in the mix. But that's the fun of youth soccer at that age. It's just all bunching.
Yep, bumblebee soccer.
Yeah, basically.
Running a pack everywhere.
Exactly.
Wherever the ball is, the entire team will be following.
That is her. So as we enter here, the 37th minute of this contest, still 0-0. And then it's taken me all season long to stop saying 0-0. So working on my nils today for sure. And hopefully Cleveland could bust that open right now. Here's Saveco again, Mikey D. Beautiful bicycle kick there by Detroit to clear it. I love those. That's one of my favorite parts of soccer is when they do bicycle kicks.
Yep, they're fun. I love doing bicycle kicks. It's fun. Oftentimes, everybody thinks of it as a goal-scoring thing. Sometimes you'll see the defenders pull it out and try to clear it like that. Always pretty funny when they do it. But if you pull it off, it works.
And you gotta be talented enough too to land on your butt and not your tailbone or your back, because you can get hurt if you do it wrong. Am I right or wrong? If you try to do that, but you could honestly land.
You'd rather land on your back than your butt for a bicycle kick,
because there's more cushion or more.
Yeah, you want to land on your back. So, two places not to land is directly on your butt because you didn't get rotated enough, and then don't want to rotate too much and land on your neck.
Yeah, smart move.
So always land on the back.
All right, corner kick number 2 coming up for Manfoot. That one earlier was not a corner kick on that throw-in, though, but man, that was great, that throw-in with a double header. All right, here comes Manfoot to the middle. It's a Bell again. Out of play it goes, and I believe, yes, this will go Detroit for the goal kick. What happened there, Cole?
And that ball, really, it's one of those things where you see a right-footed player take that corner from that side. There's no in-swinger, so you're oftentimes going to see a guy use his laces and try to drive it straight in so it doesn't curl. That's what Manfoot did. It floated really towards the back post, and Nagucki got up and really not high enough over the Detroit City FC player to really get contact and put it down. It just floated up through really where the uprights would be if we were at George Finney Stadium and had the football goalpost there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, back comes Detroit now. Looking for the game's first goal. They got something working here. Very nice. Saveco trying to chase it down, but it will stay with Detroit. Here is a kick shot, and there it is. And I'll tell you what, Cole, I saw it coming a mile away there. They just looked right in perfect position. Cleveland couldn't clear it, and the game's first goal goes to Detroit. Cole, walk us through it, bud.
And that goal came from the outside of, the left side of the field, far side, the farthest touch line. Ball swung in low across the 6, one of the most dangerous spots for the ball to be when you're the defending team. And miscommunication between Bobby Canchar and Colton Long, the 2 center backs. I think Bobby should have been back a little bit more, covering more of that near post. At least Long should have stepped in front of the guy running across. He didn't do so. And then ball flicked in past Musa at the near post.
And there it is, the official goal in the 40th minute to Sean Lawson. So Lawson breaks up the 0-0 tie. It is now 1-0 for Detroit. That goal was brought to you by Teresa Saban Real Estate at Century 21 Asa Cox, as well as Airport Goal Cart. If you're looking for a fun time with your kids or friends, once the weather starts to warm up, head over to Airport Go Kart at 16208 Brook Park Road in Cleveland. It's fun for everyone involved at a next to nothing price. Well, there goes the smoke bombs again, so they're probably going to wait till that clears. Give the players also a chance to kind of catch their breath on that one.
Yeah, and the way the wind's blowing, certainly bringing the smoke bombs across, and we've mentioned that before. As soon as the game started, it's a seeing hazard for these players now with how the the smoke is rolling across with the wind, so they're probably going to wait a little bit on this. But again, going back to the goal as it's being shown on the replay, ball swung just to the outside, and what you see again is Kanchar. I have no clue what he was doing. I don't know why he was in that spot. He was way too far to the outside. And when you're talking about Kanchar, named to the 11 in the East, and you've got Captain Colden Long there, too much experience for that miscommunication there in the defense. I mean, a great run by Detroit City FC, but somebody's got to have the near post guy.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say this too, in their defense, Cleveland was out of place, way out of position, but Detroit also perfect time there on the little tip of the foot there at the last second. All right, so Cleveland SC with a little bit of work to do that is not unfamiliar to them. As we mentioned early on in this broadcast, came back from a 4-0 defeat. A 2-0 deficit to Rochester to defeat them 6-4. So they have played from behind. And here they come again. Cleveland really aggressive there off the break, and it looks like they might get another corner kick here too. We'll see. We'd love to see him come back and tie it before the half.
Right, and that's Tom Beck on the right-hand side. He and Manfoot have switched across, and that's one thing that could be a positive. I think Beck likes to cut in so much. He just so likes to go to that right foot. I think Manfoot's a little bit more two-footed. I think he can go to his left a little bit more. If they stay in this spot, it might be a good switch for the moment.
Saw Vinny Bell coughing there. Might inhale too much of that smoke. All right, here's the far right. Looks like Mikey D's going to take this. Yep, Mikey D with the corner kick. Goes for the cross to Bell. Header. Not even close. And Detroit will clear this out. Yep, save actually by Detroit, but not the best header there by Bell.
And lots of contact there. Saveco went up for it and headed it down. Of course, not going to be a call there. There wasn't nearly enough, but Saveco off balance. Just that little bump threw him off. Couldn't get enough on that header back across.
And our final sponsor today is Fishing Mission Charter Service. If you're looking for the best fishing experience of your life, contact Fishing Mission Charter Service at 216-276-5658 or by email at fishingmission@yahoo.com. Paul Schill wants to provide you and your crew with a fun-filled day of fishing on Lake Erie. Again, guys, that's Fishing Mission Charter Service. Back comes Manfoot, and looks like another corner kick. So, Manfoot's very angry as he just booted the sidewall there.
And that's what they needed, and I've called that whole time. The right back and the right center back are really trying to force the left wing, whoever that is for Cleveland SC, as we saw that be Tom Beck from the start. Now it's Manfoot at the moment as they switched across. They're letting them have the end line, and that's where you've got to take it and play it back across.
All right, corner kick number 4 on the day. Nick Uggy talking with Manfoot, trying to set up the strategy here. It will be Manfoot taking the corner kick.
And that's Coney Arsic there. It looks like they're talking about a short corner, and with 2 defenders there, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they have to play it in.
All right, Cleveland needs to do something here. Under a minute to go in this first half, minus stoppage time. All right, Manfoot. And they just didn't even try it that time. Bicycle kick there. We just mentioned it. Oh, my goodness. Tom Beck almost stole one out of nowhere. What was the strategy there?
And here's the thing is, a lot of times you go to the short corner just to change the angle a bit. And we've talked about before, and this is what I've talked about, where I don't like the short corner where you just play it in and set it up and then swing it in. I'm always one of those who I prefer it's passed in. The guy who kicked it in overlaps, and then that can even get you out as high as the 18. I get trying to change the angle, but I like the overlap thought more of where you can come around and swing it across or take a shot towards that back post and curl it in. I completely understand changing the angle because they haven't had anything yet, but really I would look towards making the overlap run.
As we enter stoppage time, maybe about 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time, we saw a few kind of minor injuries, plus the goal, plus the smoke delays. So I'd round that up to about 2 or 3 minutes as we enter stoppage time. And now this is where Cleveland SC really needs to not slip up. Obviously, you're down 1-0, but you don't want to get distracted right now. You absolutely want to keep your focus 100%. We've seen some of the goals against them this season, especially that game against Erie, and then again on the road at Rochester. We've seen some of the goals come against them in stoppage time, unfortunately. So you really, really need to zone in right now at the end of this first half and keep it at the worst, Cole, 1-0 at the break. Absolutely have to. Can't get silly here.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's like a side that seems to be getting all the goals, but if we're being honest, we're looking from left to right, and the right-hand side is where all the goals really have seemed to happen, because that's where Cleveland SC made their comeback and also scored the goals in extra time as well. So yeah, I think you saw Detroit score there. Hopefully that side continues to get the goals in the second half, as it would be Cleveland SC scoring.
So far, very true. Detroit scored both their goals against Minneapolis on that end as well. Actually, they went 1-1, but yeah, still, no doubt about it. I noticed that as well. Very glad you pointed that out. But here we go. So here it is. Here comes Detroit again. Cleveland needs to go ahead. Don't be overly aggressive here. Get on your heels, but just play smart defense and cut everything off. Detroit, oh boy. Here it comes. And this might be a penalty kick. Let's see how they call it.
Hard challenge.
Yikes. This is bad news.
And I'd be surprised if that wasn't a card here.
Colton Long going nuts right now. Not happy with that at all. And I don't want to say I jinxed them, but I think it's about to be 2-0 if they get this penalty kick. This is not good.
There was no need for that challenge. I completely get getting in front and trying to stop the shot, but nothing close to even getting the ball there. Colton Long, and I hate to put it partially on him. It's not 100% him, but that first goal certainly did have to go to the center backs with their miscommunication. Colton Long, a guy who, the captain, you expect him to be doing, good things back there and doing well. Not the game so far today for Colton Long. Probably fortunate to avoid a card there as well.
Very much so. Well, here we go, fans. Sit tight. Musa, the man of the hour right now. Here comes the shot. Yep. All the way. Caught Musa leaning to the right. Wasn't even close. And it's Max Todd making it 2-0. Detroit putting Cleveland in a serious hole as the second half approaches. And I've said it 100 times, man. 3 straight years of calling these games. I've always said it. That last minute of stoppage time in the first half, I don't know what happens to these guys. They just mentally... I don't know what happens, but it never fails.
And I'm not sure, Musa might not have been able to see it from the field, but you could see it from the broadcast and see it from up top. Really, the whole way, you see Detroit's PK taker number 11. He was tilted. He was going to that bottom corner the entire time, and watching it, he gave him the fake look to the other side, but his body was facing. So I'm surprised Musa went the opposite direction.
Whew. So 2 very key mistakes in this first half have really cost Cleveland big. They will more than likely start the second half down 2-0 and have a lot of work to do. Colton Long, a big reason for this team's success the last couple of years, but definitely having a rough half, maybe his worst half of the season. You hate to see it. Here's another smoke bomb going off. That will cause about another minute worth of delay. If they don't call the half here.
And yeah, they called the half, and I think that's
smart.
Probably one of the other reasons why they wanted to call it right away. So going into half, down 2-0. Again, 2-0 known as the most dangerous lead in soccer. It's that one where really anything could happen. The other team kicks it up a notch. You get too comfortable, a little overly complacent. So certainly an opportunity for Cleveland SC if they come out strong in the second half. But a game that we've seen analyzing this one where really the defense, not as much Saveco and McAvenue on the outside back spots, but in the center back spots, Bobby and Colton Long really have had a little bit of miscommunication, haven't had the best game together today. We've seen them have some really solid ones through the season. Today, not quite as much. Midfield really getting dominated a bit by the formation of Detroit. Really, the only thing that Cleveland SC's had so far in this game is getting it out to the wings and getting forward, and that's really all that Detroit's given them.
Just incredible. All right, fans, stay tuned. We will go and get you to the second half here momentarily. One last reminder, if you want to be a sponsor on future broadcasts for Key Island Sports, Email myself, Vince McKee, at CoachVin14@yahoo.com. Sit tight. We'll be right back with the second half. And we're back here as the second half about to start. You're listening to the Key on Sports with Vince McKee and Cole McDaniel. Welcome back in, Cole.
Thanks, Vince. Good to be with you for the second half. Hopefully it's a little bit different than the first half.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I'd mentioned during the break, we talked a lot in this first half, just how many fans are in this stadium. It's very, very impressive. Both sides, kind of packed for the most part. There's some small empty pockets there as we're looking at right now. But overall, very solid crowd put today by Detroit. And I was just saying, it kind of amazes me because you have the Detroit Lions, the Detroit Tigers, the Detroit Red Wings, and the Detroit Pistons. So they have 4 professional teams, and yet this 5th team, kind of a semi-pro type deal here with NPSL, they're still packing the house. I mean, that should be encouraging to Cleveland fans to get their butts out to some games this season or next.
Yeah, and one thing, and it's joking, but at the same time it's serious. Hate to burst the Detroit bubble a bit, but when it comes to the Lions, let's face it, you're probably not going to win your division this year. The Tigers have been really bad. Red Wings haven't done too much. Had some good history in the past, but haven't done too much lately. So honestly, your NPSL soccer team right here, Detroit City FC, needs the support because they've been the best performing team in the area right now. So certainly a thing for Detroit. Props to them for showing up and supporting this team, but I'm sure they're happy to see a team out there playing pretty well and winning plenty of games.
Good point. It's crazy too, because what year were you born?
97.
97, yep. In Detroit, so you're not old enough to remember, the Red Wings actually were dominant at hockey for years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were like me growing up, it was always the Penguins and the Red Wings. And the Penguins are still very good, but not so much Detroit anymore. But yeah, man, they used to be really, really good. They call them the Russian Three with Yzerman, Sergei Fedorov, and Ivanov was the other guy's name. Just very, very good. So yeah, but those days appear to be done.
Yep, and I knew the Red Wings were dominant for a while, and even a little bit in my lifetime in the earlier 2000s. They were still a pretty good team, making the playoffs consistently as well. It's just lately it's fallen off for them. It's really been the story the last decade in hockey of the Chicago Blackhawks, the Penguins. The Boston Bruins have shown up at times, and
Capitals have always been good too. They finally won last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, the East has been pretty predictable at times. Like I said, with the Western side, it's really just been the Blackhawks and a couple other teams kind of show up. But props to the St. Louis Blues this past year to really show up and change some things in hockey. To be the bottom team halfway through the season and then work their way up and just be the most resilient team I've ever seen in that sport.
That was great.
Come back and win. It was incredible. But yeah, as we mentioned, the Red Wings' time really seems to be done at the moment.
Yeah. Also, what was great about that was seeing Boston lose a championship. It was just so ridiculous. They put a graphic up there like it had been 111 days since their last championship parade. Right. Since the Super Bowl. And it's like, come on, man. Are you kidding me? So yeah, just wild. Me being 37 years old, it's funny because a lot of people don't realize how good the Browns used to be. Before, and this is before you were born, they moved, Cleveland did, to Baltimore before you were ever even born, but the Browns used to be so doggone good in the 80s. And they were going to the AFC Championship game almost every year, 3 out of 4 years against Denver.
Yeah, Browns versus the Broncos.
Yeah.
Used to be the big thing.
Oh, big time. So just kind of very hopeful, as we were talking about earlier, with the training camp starting this week. Keyword there being should be a very good season, barring injury, and obviously with Freddie Kitchens' first season at the helm. So a lot of variables, but fingers crossed there for sure.
Right, and one thing we talked about off air, of course, I'm going to be spending a lot of time out there for training camp. That picks up on Thursday for the Browns, and I'm not trying to get the hopes up of the Browns faithful too much, but I've watched this team out there. All the hypes around the offense, of course, Baker Mayfield, OBJ, Jarvis, got a good offensive line. There's just so much talent there on that team. Everybody talks about the offense, but what people forget about is that defense is about to be one of the best in the league. That defensive front, you have 3 Pro Bowlers up there and Ogunjobi as well. You have really a linebacking core that's going to be healthier to start the season than they were last year, and that secondary has continued to improve.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so this ball will go out of play. It appears to be a goal kick coming up for Cleveland, as Musa just let it go there. Smart move. And, yeah, Cleveland, I mean, they looked out of sorts there in that exchange. I'm not sure what they were doing. In fact, this is actually going to be, I stand corrected. So that was off Musa's foot as it went out of bounds, out of play. And this will actually be a corner kick. This is bad news. Cleveland needs to wake up right now because there's no reason they shouldn't be able to get possession of that ball. I don't know what they were doing.
And there's no reason this team should come out and be deflated. They should come out with energy and really be going at them. So far, I mean, it's only really been a couple minutes of work so far, so we can only talk about 5 minutes. But
Man, Manfoot's fast.
It's been a very slow start, and it's given us a chance to, I guess, talk about some other things, talk about, the sports scheme. But, there's
a
your yellow card.
So Detroit gets a little sloppy there, rams into Manfoot. He goes down like a sack of bricks. But it apparently should be another. Man, is he fast? I can't say it enough. Antonio Manfoot is a speedster with those short strides. But he gets tripped up, kind of dirty, and will be a yellow card assigned to Detroit. We'll give you that player's name in a second. And, Cole, you just said it. I mean, Cleveland comes out a little lackluster, so hopefully this yellow card, again, Michael Pimlott, the midfielder, picked it up for Detroit. Hopefully that exchange right there, Cole, gets him going. You need something.
Yeah, and I hope. I don't know if it's that, it's just a hot day out there or what it is, or the home fan base helps pull in this team. But there's your
goal off the back. Corner post kick there. Tom Beck. Let's wait. It is official. And this one finds the back of the net. Walks through it, Cole.
Ball floats up and through to Tom Beck. And really, it was a little bit of an exchange with the defender. Not sure who was going to get to it. Tom Beck gets his left shoulder into the defender, just bodies him off, takes a touch with the outside of his right foot, clears some room, barely has an angle, and is able to just slide it by the keeper, hit the inside of the back post, and go in. That's about as perfect of a shot as you can get there with the angle he had. And that's exactly what Cleveland SC needed to get back in this one.
That is huge, my friends. Tom Beck beautifully played that off that corner post there. A little one-on-one battle. Just a tremendous job. And, I don't know if I'm going to start calling myself Nostradamus today, but I literally just said it. Hopefully that yellow card gets them going, gets them a little bit of spark. Bada boom, bada bing, they did. And, Cole said it as well earlier at the very end of that first half. A 2-0 lead is very, very dangerous.
Yeah, and this is what you see in soccer a lot. And if a team's really dominant and there's not chances on the other end, sometimes you'll see a 2-0 lead really not matter. We've seen this in some past games. Cleveland SC's been up 2-0. It's like there's no way this other team's getting in it because they're just not getting on the attack. This is a different type of game. When you've got two strong teams, you get up 2-0, get a little bit complacent, and bam, another team strikes like that. You oftentimes see in these tough matchups a 2-0 lead turn into 2-1, and that's what we see here.
Yep, no doubt about it. And that goal was brought to you by all of our fine sponsors. If you want to be a sponsor, it's CoachVin14@yahoo.com. And here comes Detroit, as that obviously woke him up. Shot in! Oh! It appears to be saved by Musa. Where did that bounce off of, Cole?
Okay, and in that one, a defender, an attacker for Detroit, slides in between Colton Long and Bobby Canchar. Again, that time Canchar is able to get up to it and defend it, but it was just headed towards the back post by Detroit. Hits off of the inside of the bar after it hit the ground, and then it skips straight into the arms of Musa. Does not cross the line.
Oh my gosh.
Very fortunate for Musa, the goalkeeper. Really thankful for that one.
Wow.
The goalpost and the ball, the spin of the ball was very nice for the goalkeeper.
Oh my God. No doubt about it. It should be 3-1 right now.
Yeah, and it's all about the spin of the ball. It's all about how it hits. Beck's shot just a couple minutes ago hit a little bit more on the inside of that post. That's why it kicked in. That one hit pretty much square on the post, and very fortunate for Cleveland.
Yeah, big time. All right, so Cleveland dodges a serious bullet there. Score stays at 2-1. Mikey D boots it out. The ball will go back to Detroit. Definitely big time there with the goal finding the back of the net. 2-1 for Beck. And just like that, we have ourselves a game. I see a few orange shirts sprinkled in there.
And again, that's a little bit harder there for Colton Long and for Bobby Canchar to defend. That one's not really anybody's fault, but that's where Detroit's having a lot of success in this game. Is they're getting the ball swung in across the 6-yard box, and you're seeing an attacker always run in between Long and Canchar, and that's where they're attacking from. They scored a goal earlier there at the near post. That one was directly in the middle, could not score, but that's dangerous.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right. We've seen all 3 goals come at this end of the pitch. So Cole mentioned it earlier, and it's rung true so far. This has been really the lucky end for Cleveland. All right, Detroit dodges that bullet, and they'll clear it. Here comes Detroit. Good read there on the far end by number 27. He picked up that yellow card a little bit earlier. Good job there by Cleveland to break that up, but he was flying down that pitch. Here's Detroit again. Going to kick it around. Back to midfield. Ball will stay with Detroit. Looking to set this up right now. Cleveland needs to be smart on defense at this point. Cannot afford to go down 2 goals again. And Detroit really not pressured here, Cole. Kind of taking their time because they don't have anybody on them.
And we've seen this from Detroit, and I think it's a little bit of their formation, too.
Good job at Beck.
They've just controlled the midfield this game, and they've been able to swing the ball around. They've been able to have possession. So, really, the majority of possession has been in favor of Detroit in this one.
Oh, no doubt about it. I'd almost say 70-30.
Yeah, it's creeping up that way, that's for sure.
All right, here comes Detroit again. Cleveland crowding that area, though, doing a good job on defense as Mikey D not letting anything slip through. Back came up for that one as well. Can Madfoot take it away? Nope. Sliding tackle there by Madfoot. He'll be called for a foul, and he's got to watch his temper right now that he doesn't get a card.
And I think he's kind of appealing to the official to hope that he doesn't get a yellow, because I don't think he actually tried to go in and tackle. If you watch it, it looks like his foot slipped out from under him, and he slipped and slid into the defender. So that's to actually the attacker. So very unfortunate for Manfoot to lose his footing there.
Yep. All right, they'll reset this.
And I think the official saw that, and that's why he gave him the pat on the bat and on the back and let him go.
And he barely scraped him. Okay. Here's a set piece for Detroit. Nope. They will not do that. I'm just going to go ahead and kick it around a little bit. Put it in the middle there. Header. This is trouble. Bounces out of there. Good clearance. No call, no whistle. Wow, man. I tell you, Cleveland dodging some bullets right now early on in this half. Back comes Detroit. Cleveland needs to be smart right here.
Tom Beck about broke his ankles there, coming in hard on the challenge. The player cuts back, and
good job
and
on
Beck
Colton.
went down.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then a good job there by Colton Long. Stops it in the middle. That could have been dangerous. Back comes Detroit inside the box. Detroit with the ball. Shot! Saved by Super Mario Musa. Wow.
And I'm trying to watch one thing with the game, and I'm picking up on the midfield. You know, obviously, we know Koniarczyk and Derezik, they like to sit back a little bit more. They're going to slide in the gap as the 6 and the 8. They're going to feed the ball around. And with the 10, we see, of course, Soljevic and Nagaki are different types of players, but they are similar in how they work. They kind of like to sit up at the 10. They like to drift around a little bit more. They don't move quite as much. Still very good players, but in the speed of play, when a team's dominating the midfield like Detroit, you can't really find them up there. And this is where a guy like Kurt Rainey could be very beneficial, because Kurt might be one of the guys who I've ever seen or ever played with at the 10 who runs around the most. You see him running from side to side and finding those gaps, and that's kind of what Cleveland SC needs in the midfield at the moment, because they're just not moving enough.
Yeah, I agree. All right, there.
McAvenue gives away an easy.
What was he doing?
And I think he was worried to flick it on because nobody was around, so he just headed it straight back. But that's probably miscommunication. If he had the opportunity, that's one where Musa should probably come out, say he's got no one on, and have him head it back to him so he can catch it.
Yeah, that was not good. Okay, so this will definitely set up a corner kick opportunity for Detroit. Kind of a miscommunication there again with Musa McAvenue. Here's the corner kick, and it's going to get cleared. Almost scored another goal for Detroit. These are getting tougher to call because I'm telling you, man, every time it looks like it's going right in, and then all of a sudden it's not. with no one touching it. So I don't know if it's backspin or what.
Yeah, I think that was a deflection, no clean contact.
Here's Manfoot to tie the game with the equalizer. Shot! It's a goal! This one finds the back of the net. Wide open, no one near him. Antonio Manfoot. It is now 2-2. Oh, walks through a goal.
Well, first of all, I have no clue how the official did not call that offsides, because I really thought Manfoot was just off. It was, of course, hard for us to see because he was right in that bottom corner.
Yeah, he was way out.
I'd love to see that replay go farther back than how they're showing it, but it's one of those things where the ball was played through to Manfoot. He ran onto it, got behind the defender, went through, and a little bit easier of an angle than Beck had to score the first one, but again, very similar, dribbling towards that near post. All he had really option-wise to play it into the back post. He slides it on the ground into the back corner. Nice goal from Manfoot. I'm surprised that he stayed on there with how far he got behind the defender. Goalkeeper was furious with the far side official, thinking that, actually the near side official, thinking that Manfoot was offsides. But Cleveland SC, we'll take it 2-2 here in the 61st.
Absolutely, we will. Coming out like a house on fire. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I have never seen a guy that wide open like that. That was crazy.
Well, the other thing is, you've never really seen, and let me put it this way, this is a good Cleveland SC team, but I've never seen a team fall apart so much early in these games of the playoffs and still be able to come back, and we've seen it multiple times with this team. Again, the last game versus Rochester, Rochester who's like, okay, we should beat them. We played them in the East Conference. They're a good team, but we should beat them. I was surprised to concede 4 goals to that team.
Oh, I mean, especially when we beat them a game me and you called 4-0 at home, for them to fall behind like that. That was nuts.
Exactly, but to win that, I mean, it was important. This team really fell apart in this first half. They came out slow, and then 1 goal changed it all, and now we see 2-2. Again, as I've said all season to you, and I don't know if you had heard it before, but a little bit of a surprise. You always think, hey, 1-0 is going to be your dangerous lead, but tell you what, 2-0 continues to prove to be the most dangerous lead in the game.
We've seen it all season long. Just like that, the energy level with myself and Cole kicked up a notch as well, my man. It is now 2-2. You are listening to Keon Sports Radio Network. We do have to give proper credit where it's due to MyCuju TV and the Detroit feed. We thank you for that. That being said, you are listening to KeonSports.com. Vince McKee, Cole McDaniel. Brought to you by all of our fine sponsors. That last goal, all of our fine sponsors brought you that goal. Each and every one of them. We're not going to read them again. And if you want to be a sponsor, it is CoachVin14@yahoo.com. 30-second commercial read during every broadcast, along with that unbelievably limited edition autograph picture of our man, Cole McDaniel. And the guys, he's going to autograph it in whatever color Sharpie you want. So you want to hop on that right now.
One thing I do want to point out that's a little bit funny, because the size of the stadium, it just makes you think soccer stadium and the look of it. One thing I had noticed though is if you see the little different color in the lines, I think they do play football out there, as you can tell. You can see the football lines, but it's super faint. They're gonna have to repaint that soon, as it is getting close to football season. But so actually not a full-on soccer facility. It's just they have the lines all covered up right now.
Yeah, not only that, and I'll say it, and the Detroit fans, feel free to tweet at me at Keon Sports. Your stadium looks like kind of a dump. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Like, it's not the nice... I mean, it's cool that it's packed with all your fans. That's great. Good for you. God bless you. But to me, it doesn't really look that great. Like, to the eye, kind of visual... cosmetic is the word I'm looking for here.
Right.
Cosmetically, nice shot there by Vinny Bell. Great save by the goalkeeper. But cosmetically, it's really not I'm just going to say it's not the nicest looking stadium.
I'm with you there, and of course, maybe a little bit of that does have to do with us being the top seed and like, hey, how are we not hosting this thing?
I would love to know.
But the other thing too is, I mean, I do like that the wall right there that says Kenworth Stadium, the one we're looking at. That is a cool wall, but when we're talking about the actual stands, I mean, you're right. I'll agree with you. It does look like a little bit of a dump. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like a level 4 English soccer.
Yeah.
Like a really little old stadium over there in Europe.
No doubt about it. All right, so the foul called on Tendra Jariri. No card, and apparently here it looks like a corner kick. It is. Oh boy, is this big. 2-2, 65th minute. Antonio Manfoot sets up the corner kick. Here comes Manfoot. Boots it to the middle. Off for the headers. No, Detroit will be able to clear it. They have not been very good on corner kicks today, Mr. McDaniel.
No, not at all. And a little bit of that does have to do with the organization of Detroit, a little bit of their size, but just not doing anything with the corners today. Maybe you need to start thinking about doing something, but yeah, Vinny Bell really not been able to find his head much at all either. So, and again, it's not the biggest team. Cleveland SC certainly has decent size, but they're not gigantic, no super tall guys. Vinny's the biggest guy they have out there. So
Colin's got a little height to him. That's about it.
yeah, if they don't find their heads, they really don't have much that happens on corners.
Nope. I will say that too. I mean, Bell and Long, but you don't really see Long play corners in the middle.
No.
So kind of useless there on the height. All right, here comes Detroit FC. Now they got a fire lit underneath them. They've seen a 2-goal lead evaporate. 2-2 in the 66th minute. And Detroit FC, good job there to save that ball. Out of bounds it goes. It should be a throw-in. Let's see how they call that. Good job there out of Kanchar. And I got to say, early on here in this second half, about 15 minutes in, Colton Long and Bobby Kanchar, I mean, I don't know if head coach Ryan T. Osborne, Ozzie lit them up at halftime for their first half play or what, but they've been playing a lot better so far in this second half. A long, long way to go.
Yeah, they have offensively. There's still some work that needs to be done defensively, and I wouldn't want to sit back too much in this game because, of course, you want to get more goals. But with how the game's going, I would try to slide Mikey D a little bit back more in the midfield and try to help cover that gap defensively between Long and Kanchar. I would be tempted to, you know how a team like Barcelona kind of slides their 6 back in defensively, they'll slide him back almost to like another center back. I would say Mikey D might need to slide back a little bit more because still that gap between Long and Kanchar seems to be where Detroit tries to go in.
That pocket. They're finding that pocket every time. You are 100% right. Here comes Detroit again. This is dangerous. Detroit, good job there to clear it by Cleveland. Maybe, yes, Saveco boots it. The ball will stay with Detroit, but got out of the danger zone there for a second. All right, it's going to stay with Detroit's possession, but definitely a smart move there to clear it out of there before things got really bad.
And I don't know if it's coming off of a 4-goal game or what, but or if it's, you know, playing so many games and finally by the end of the season, Vinny Bell's feeling like in really good shape or anything. Because obviously the more games you play, the better in shape you get when it comes to running-wise, the more time you get. So, but I don't think I've ever seen him run sideline to sideline so much like he's done today. I mean,
he's
been all over.
Vinny Bell has definitely stepped it up in this heat.
He hit his end-of-season peak fitness here, folks. Running around all over the place.
No doubt about it. In swimming, I know they call it tapering. It's like they stop working as hard in practice at the end of a year in swimming, so they got more energy for the meets. So who knows? Whatever you do, it's working now.
Well, they were doing a pool recovery session
yesterday,
so maybe that's exactly what it was. It was the swimming mentality kicked in.
Now, do you follow these guys on Twitter and Facebook, or how do you really see what they're doing there? Just go to the website?
I follow them a lot on Instagram.
Okay.
I like Instagram. Instagram's great for videos and pictures and everything.
True.
Probably one of my favorite sites when we're talking about social media stuff. I'll be honest, I really like to be on Instagram because I like the pictures, I like to see the videos and stuff. There's too much drama sometimes with the Twitter and other things like that. Everybody getting into these arguments.
Facebook's ridiculous with that.
Right.
I keep Facebook to my daughters, pictures of my daughters, and then obviously all the stuff for Keon Sports. And by the way, fans, go follow us now on Facebook, as we mentioned it, Keon Sports Facebook page. But yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. Like, social media can get you in trouble quickly, so it's better off just kind of sitting back and watching sometimes.
Yeah, I like to be on, specifically Twitter for sports updates, trades, things like that. Watch some things. I'll talk a little bit about sports, but you try to avoid a lot of that stuff that, your politics, your other things like that. Everybody gets so heated on there. So
it's unbelievable. I put a thing on there. It's funny too because I've had social media for like 10 years. I've never once talked about politics. I don't know. Flat out, I don't know anything about them. I don't pay attention. I'm so into sports, it's ridiculous.
Same.
Yep. So I stay out of the whole political realm. The one thing that did bug me, and I'll say it again, and I'll leave it be. I'm not a fan of people kneeling at the national anthem. I don't think it should be protested. whatever it is. Respectful protest is fine, but I have veterans in my family. I'm very proud of the country I live in, the freedom that we have. So I just simply said how I didn't think it was right. So many people were kneeling at the national anthem, Colin Kaepernick, so on and so on. And yeah, I mean, one time in the 10 years I've had Facebook, I put something like that on social media.
Right.
People went nuts. They went nuts. They were pissed. And it's like, okay, so I'll just stick to sports. Like the one time I go outside that realm, a big to-do.
Yep, completely get it. I mean, that's how it is, and a lot of that stuff does leak into sports. You kind of just try to avoid it, you know. It's one of those things. I mean, I will mention this, you know, like the NBA changing the term of their owners. You know, they've changed all the wording of that. So it's interesting with how, you know, different things leak into sports and things you really don't even think of. So, you know, we're not going to get into too much to that stuff, but
we'll save that for an actual episode.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we like to be a part of sports and get to cover it. And of course, as these things leak in, I guess it does draw us into it. But
true.
But of course, you know, we're here for the games. We love this stuff. This is the content we love.
I'm glad I don't know anything about politics. I really am, because someone tells me how to get heated up, so I'm glad I don't. Here comes Manfoot. All right, good wall there by Detroit. That was a free kick, but really in the zone, so that could have did a lot of damage there. A good set piece by Manfoot, but a better wall set up by Detroit. Out of play it goes, and we are back to soccer action here.
Yeah, Manfoot tried to drive that one and went straight into the wall. Not really even much of a chance there. Not too great of an opportunity for Manfoot. Still pretty far out, so optimistic if he wanted to go for the shot there. But again, Cleveland SC deflects out, able to keep possession. Pretty fortunate.
Yep, okay, Tom Beck will do the throw-in. I'm just astounded by all these advertisements on the boards for Detroit.
And there's going to be a foul.
Yep, no doubt about it.
And that's Nagaki. He was right behind the goalkeeper. He wasn't trying to make contact, but because of being right behind him and planted and not letting Morse, the goalkeeper there, move, definitely a foul on Nagaki. And as we're now in the 73rd minute, start to look at some substitutions. I think there's going to be some guys moving down there. It's a hot day out there. It's sunny. It's going to be one of those where, you know, I'm surprised.
Rupel and Rainey.
I'm surprised no hydration breaks really in this either.
Yeah, none yet. Well, 82 degrees outside. Give it a good 5 or 6 on the pitch, so about 88 degrees, I'd say, for them.
If it was yesterday, it definitely would have resulted in hydration breaks. Yesterday was a hot day in Ohio, so I'm sure it was still pretty warm up there in Detroit.
Now, Cleveland does have a short bench, though. They only traveled with a set number of players, and you got to remember, Joe Korb and Saul Yevek were 2 of those players. So they are playing with a little bit shorter of a bench. I do want to mention that. Ryan T. Osborne, Ozzie, you know, keeping that in the back of his mind. So we will see where it goes. Obviously, 2-2. I mean, we might be looking at overtime again. Hopefully not. And here's a skirmish.
Yeah, a little bit of an argument here.
Vinny Bell.
And shoving. We've seen Vinny Bell in a couple of these this year.
Yeah. And now up in Colton Long's face. And the referees and officials have kept a pretty good game today. I think they've called it very well. They need to clean this out right now before it gets worse. Tom Beck needs to cool it. Tom Beck is way too important in this team to get tossed out of here right now. These Cleveland guys just need to get back. Because you know, Detroit's at home. You're not going to get many calls in a situation like this. Just get out of the way.
And Tom Beck, a guy who, you know, we hope he's careful right here, and we hope he learns his lesson from earlier in the year from, you know, talking a little bit too much, got tossed, got the suspension. So, you know, a guy who been great to see back out here this year, but he's got to be careful down there at the moment.
And right now, Cleveland has all the momentum on their side, Cole. They've scored 2 goals in the second half to tie the game. They've had doggone it.
And 2 reds, so it's going to be 10-10.
Yeah, and there it is. The double ejection is now final. That is not good. The most important player in Cleveland, in my humble opinion, I've said it all game long, is Tom Beck. He's been tossed. Apparently, we're going to wait for the number on this. Apparently, though, I want to say that a Detroit player got tossed out of this as well. Would you agree? We're waiting on the official announcement, but I believe so.
There were 2 players. It was a Detroit player and a Cleveland SC player. Cleveland SC, it's Tom Beck. And then we're looking at who the other player is. We'll have more on that in just a second as that will come up. But That will mean
This is costly.
the rest of this game will be 10v10. A lot more space is going to open up for these teams. Hopefully that opens up some room on the counters. So
We saw no physical contact. Not to cut you off, bud.
Yeah.
But we saw no physical contact. So it had to be something verbal. I mean, they just started going at it. So something must have happened there.
I think there was physical contact off of the screen. I believe there was some pushing and shoving, and that contact probably resulted in the arguing and the talking. I believe, of course, we didn't really get to see, if there was like a headbutt or something along those lines. That does result in a red. So I'm not sure if it was the talking or what it was, but the officials, as you can see right here on the replay, they're talking about what happened with the contact before. He pulls them over, and then he goes to the books. So that has to be as a result from the contact rather than the talking. But certainly not good to see. That's the second time we've seen Tom Beck hit with a straight red this year. So that is interesting.
See Sam Siebert following him out.
Definitely a problem there, and it's going to have to change up the formation. It's going to lead to, obviously Detroit has an issue too because they lost a man, but now Cleveland SC is going to have to figure out what they want to do formationally. It's going to change some things. Me personally, with knowing that it's going to open up to the counterattack more, this is where I'd go to Rupel with his speed.
Yes. Well, here's the other problem, fans, and I want you to keep this in mind. Something that immediately popped in my brain. More than likely, if Cleveland wins this game, Soljevic more than likely is out for the semifinals. A red card an injection usually gets you 2 games suspended in the NPSL, from what we've seen.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're already looking at not having Admir for the semifinals. Now you're looking at not having Beck too. That is how doggone costly that was just now. That is major. That is not good.
My opinion is because it was a double yellow for Admir, he'll probably be back. Straight red, though, in the NPSL seems to result in some type of suspension like we saw with
you're
Beck.
right.
Because of the double yellow, I think it will just be 1 game for Soljevic, so
Okay.
hopefully he's back. And then we could see what we've seen earlier in the year, Soljevic in the lineup still, and Rupel would probably fill in for Beck as he did earlier in the year. But yeah, not good to see Beck out, and that probably, folks, will result in a suspension. And don't want to wish this, as here comes Bell. Bell with the opportunity.
How about a
Wanted to
call?
stop just in case there was a goal there. But the thing is if for some reason Cleveland did not win this game, I would say NPSL might carry on Beck's suspension into next season.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, man. As Bell here almost scores a goal. Great job there by the defender. Bell ends up landing on his head, but phenomenal job there by the Detroit defender there. And this is going to be an injury timeout. We'll be right back on Keon Sports. All right, we are back on the Keon Sports Radio Network. Corner kick here for Manfoot of Cleveland SC in the middle, and they've just continued to have no luck on that.
And that shot from Mike Derezik, he got through with the laces. It was going wide all the way. The deflection actually from the defender took it a little bit closer to the goal. Looked like maybe if it took a little bit more of a skip, could have gone in, but that one goes just wide. That's going to be out for a corner.
Now, at the 10-minute mark remaining in this game, Cleveland SC really needs to go ahead and make every possession count in situations like this close. Absolutely want to take advantage of this. They've just not done well in these corner kicks, but interesting soccer at 10-10. You don't see that too often.
And this is a game where, I think Manfoot needs to stay in at the moment. I think they still need him. But I would look at, because they have...
Rupel for Naguki?
I would look at Rupel for Naguki, and because the midfield really hasn't been dominated by Cleveland SC. So I would look to keep your Coney Arsic, Derezik pairing deeper back. But I'd look to put Rupel in, and I believe that was the right back for Detroit who was brought out. You drift Rupel out on that left-hand side, and that pulls their right center back out farther. Rupel's speed can beat him. That could result in sliding the ball across the 6 a lot of times for Vinny Bell, Manfoot running in as well. So
Yep.
I'd look for that Rupel switch in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and I know you want to keep Koniarczyk in this game too, but I would not be shocked in about 5 minutes if it's Kurt Rainey as well coming in for him. So you put Rupel and Rainey in, take Naguki and Koniarczyk. Screw his name up every time. Koniarczyk, out. So
Yep.
you know,
I agree with you. I think those are probably the two changes. And like we mentioned, a shorter bench today. They brought 7 with them.
Yep.
Again, no Joe Korb, and also
Soljevic.
no Soljevic in this one. So, but the two players that we've seen all year off of that bench, and Rupel started in place of Tom Beck for a long time. So we expect to see them in this one. And so far, 83rd minute, nothing yet from Coach Ryan Ozzy Osborne, and I think he's actually preparing for extras at the moment.
very possible here. Collision out of bounds there. Ball will be back with Detroit. A throw in, it looks like. Yes. Okay, restart the action. Detroit FC. 2-2, 83rd minute. Listening to the Keon Sports Radio Network.
I mean, neither team's made a sub, and this is the latest
Yeah.
we've ever seen in any of these NPSL games without a sub this season. So, really looks like both teams are almost in a stalemate at the moment, holding out for extras.
Apparently. All right, here comes Detroit, though. And, you know, I say it every time. These last 5 minutes of a half, with the exception of the Rochester game, where Cleveland was amazing at the end of a half, too many times we see them slip up. So this is something, again, all goes back to focus. Move past the Tom Beck situation and just focus in right now. Cannot let the emotions override you. I mean, that was the first time all game we've seen a card handed out to Cleveland.
And I'm just seeing tired legs right now. A lot of walking right now.
Well, that's where that double overtime game kind of affects Cleveland a little bit. I mean, that was extreme heat on Friday, all those extra minutes, the emotion, the drama. You know, these are the situations, unfortunately, where it could catch up to you. Yep. Here's a shot. Save! Beautiful job there. Shot out of nowhere. About 18 yards out. Super Mario Musa. Walks through, Cole.
Yeah, and that actually, you have the 18-yard box, so I'll add another, 7-8 yards on that one. So, you're looking at a shot from about 25 out, and ball dips down, and that's one of those tough ones. It's a knuckler, and Musa got to it just before it skipped, and that's a good save by Musa. But we talked about, and we're pointing it out, a lot of walking right now so far in this game, and you have to feel like the switch is about to come because it's slowed down.
As we saw Naguki chase that one down, couldn't get to it. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Do you play for overtime right now, or do you insert those guys in now and just see if they could get a real quick spark here at the end? I'd put them in right now. I wouldn't screw around, but again, I am not head coach Ryan T. Ozzy Osborne. I am not.
Yeah, I'm not one of those who really likes to wait to put them back in because, especially like you said, we mentioned his name in the last couple minutes because he's a guy that we expect to be on is Rupel, but he starts in college. He plays. Honestly, for us, we play 90-minute games. Rupel plays 85 minutes of those games. He's a guy who's used to playing long minutes, so even if they don't get a goal, they go into extra time, he's fine.
Yep.
They're used to going in there and playing, so I want them inserted now and really have at least there's probably going to be 4 at minutes, if not more, so could have 9 minutes of work.
I'd go right now to Rupel to Naguki. Get him out of there, put Rupel in.
Yep.
All right, here's the throw in though. I mean, we haven't seen anything today out of Corbin McAvenue either. I mean, nothing.
Yeah, and that's props to really the formation of Detroit. They're not letting the outside backs get forward. So really the attack has just been all on the wings and Vinny Bell up there. There hasn't been much out of the midfield getting forward for Cleveland SC. So fortunate that Beck, before he was off, got the goal and Manfoot got one.
This might be setting up for a very long day of soccer if we go 2 overtimes and then penalty kicks. Hopefully we don't need all that. Here's a shot by Detroit. It's going to go. Saveco should really just let this go out of play, but he won't. All right, here comes Saveco. Maybe there was a bit of a deflection we didn't see there, and that's why he went after it.
Good thing this doesn't have a VAR. No VAR in the NPSL. That would have stretched it out even longer.
Yeah.
Gone back, checked the Manfoot goal for possible offsides, checked some other things, but Yeah, talking about a long day of soccer. Imagine if we had VAR in this one, because that would slow it down even more. But yeah, it looks to be a long day out there in the heat for these players.
Yeah, we are nice and cold here in the Barrett Road press box. All right, here is Saveco booted out. Again, guys, thank you for joining us here. It is actually Baker College Keyworth Stadium. Today is NPSL Elite 8 matchup. Whoa, 2 balls on the pitch.
Well done by the ball boy.
Yep.
Props to him.
This poor kid.
He hurt his own team there.
Yeah, he did. Good thing this is in Cuba. Poor little kid would be in prison. Yikes. Well, he's just doing his job. So to walk you through that, fans, there was about to be a restart of the action. Detroit would have benefited, and then the ball boy whipped another ball on the pitch. I've only seen that happen one other time in NPSL action. It happened actually last year at John Carroll once. But yeah, now some pushing and shoving. This is stupid. Just restart the action and let's go. What's going on, man?
And I have no clue what the argument is. I don't know if it's who's supposed to take the kick or okay, Detroit wants the kick. It's going to result in a drop ball because of the issue. So it took away a free kick from Detroit to change it into a drop ball.
Man, Manfoot's amazing. He is so quick. All right, thank you, Cole, for the explanation. Under 2 minutes to go in regulation. Then we'll have stoppage time. As Cole said, I'd say about a good 4 to 5 minutes. And we'll go from there. Detroit, though, looking to slip one in. They scored 2 late.
Right.
In the first half.
Funny thing from my reffing days, and you have to go through all the licensing, you have to go through everything, the classes, and
probably CPR training too.
Well, no, but the funny thing with the classes for that is they take you through all the random scenarios, like a dog running on the field and blocking the ball from going in the goal, and they walk you through all the different scenarios. So that's one of those where the drop ball thing does come in play too with that. So
here comes Manfoot shot. Oh, just wide.
That one sliced off the outside of the foot. But yeah, that's one of
hilarious.
those. The ball boy tossing it in, and there's 2 balls on the field, but the ball had already been kicked, turns it into a drop ball. One of the rare things you don't see too often, that it's like, okay, this takes me back to my class days of going through the random scenarios.
I have to say,
and here's Rupel.
Yeah, there it is. We'll see who he comes out for, waiting for the graphic to pop up on our screen. Yeah, Danny Rupel in, though. That's smart. I'd have to, yep, there he goes.
And there it is. Rupel for Nagaki, and we've been calling that one for the last couple minutes.
All right, as we restarted here, I'll tell this story super quick because it's a good one. It's in my book, Hero. If you want a good book about Little League Baseball, check out the book, Hero. I used to coach Little League when I was 18 years old. We were beating this team really bad, and they hated us for numerous reasons. One, we were one of the better teams in the league, and the mom of one of the kids on the opposing team that we were beating, she went nuts. So in like the 6th inning of this game, it was like 20-1, like it was just about done. And the mom went nuts and crawled all the way up the backstop, screaming and yelling. So if you could picture a grown woman crawling up a backstop at a Little League baseball stadium, you always see that big fence, crawled all the way up, sat on top, and was screaming and yelling. We had to call the cops to get her down. So you want to talk about bizarre delays in a youth sporting event? One of the strangest things I've ever seen.
And I want to give props to Coach Ryan Osborne here. One thing that he's done with this switch that I didn't think he was going to do, I haven't seen him do it this year really. We've seen guys come in. There's not really that many guys going forward for Cleveland SC in this game and attacking. So you put Rupel on the right wing, Manfoot on the left. So when they get forward, they're going to get to cut in to their strong foot to hit shots because the crosses really haven't worked out because people haven't been following.
Very much so. And as you were talking there, Colton Long just got away with one again. Difference what he did here in the box. Could have been another penalty kick. But what Colton Long did differently on this time is he broke up the play, but he stood standing. He didn't slide tackle the guy. He didn't throw his body in there. He stayed on his feet. And that time got the benefit of the doubt from the official.
The other thing, too, that he's fortunate here, if the Detroit player was smart and decided to go to ground, that's dangerous for Colton Long in this one. It's one of those where a little bit of it had to do with the Detroit player tried to back heel it. He kind of slipped on the ball, was going forward. A little bit of contact from Colton Long, but a lot of that was because of the slip. Again, ref might not have seen that with how much of a bang-bang play it was, so fortunate the player did not go to ground.
Yeah, that would have been a horrible way to lose if that would have resulted in another penalty kick in stoppage time, too. I mean, both half stoppage time, same type of thing. I can't even imagine. It would have been the longest bus ride back of Colton Long's life, to say the least.
And why Manfoot went up to the left-hand side, too, is so he can stay forward a little bit. Rupel's having to drop in and defend a little bit more. Then he's breaking out on the counter.
All right. I've said it all season long. These are the times that matter the most. Cleveland SC 2-2 against Detroit FC. Elite 8 of the NPSL playoffs. This is big, big, big. But it's stoppage time. And we've seen Cleveland, unfortunately, too many times let down their guard in stoppage time. They didn't against Rochester. In fact, it was the opposite against Rochester. They stepped it up, and that's why they won. But tonight, a packed house against them. They need to remain and keep their composure here.
And this is the proof, though, that they're playing for added time. The only change we saw, Rupel coming in, holding on Kurt, holding on the other guys on the bench. I think everybody feels that this one's going to extras.
Detroit has it. No notification as to how much stoppage time. We guessed about 3 or 4 minutes, so we should be wrapping up that stoppage time any minute here, any second.
I would guess 4 at minimum. That red card situation was a long one, as well as the collision where the Detroit City FC player was down. Those were the 2 long ones. 4 at minimum is my guess. Probably 6 at max. Again, we do not have any confirmation of how much time there is up there, but still, probably another couple minutes.
Good job there by Bobby to clear it. Out to Mikey D. As Detroit looking to put it away here in dramatic fashion. Cleveland on their heels. Needs to hang tight. The drama's very, very thick at this moment. Detroit still has it. Looking in. Here comes Detroit. Good job there by Sefeko to clear it. Stays with Detroit FC. Back to the middle it goes. Cleared out by Cleveland.
Got to stay tight and compact, and that's what they're doing. McAvenue there got the clearance, but really, right now, Detroit pressing, got to stay strong right now, and Cleveland SC needs to hope for extras.
Out of play it goes. Yeah, Cleveland, oh my gosh. Like right now, they need to do whatever they can to play this as smart as possible. Even if you need to give them like 3 straight corner kicks, just grind out this clock, but don't allow anything.
Well, there's no room to back up, so I'd prefer them giving them the throw.
Musa all the way up on that one. Collision City, and let's see what they call, if anything.
That's a foul on Detroit. Goalkeeper's always going to get the advantage. Musa got the contact to the head. I'm sure he'll be okay, but there's some strong contact here. Always goalkeeper going to get the advantage in that situation.
Yep, should just be a foul. Should not be a card on Detroit. It won't be.
Oh, and Musa's got to be careful.
What's he doing yelling at the fans for?
A fan yelled something at him, and Musa's gone over to the fan, and we have a confrontation down there. Again, these guys, and here's one thing that's different, and the NPSL guys, you get some fans out to the games during the regular season, but once you get to the playoffs, it's a completely different story. These guys aren't used to the game of the pros where everybody's out there and they're yelling at them, so fans are close. It's a little bit more packed. It's different than what you're used to through the regular season.
And
Musa's not afraid to talk to people.
He's not afraid to stir it up, but right now he's just got to get his composure back, his vision, make sure he can see, and then they need to move this on because we're headed towards extras. Plenty of water here on the table in front of us. It looks like we might need it today.
You know, and the funniest thing for me with Colton Long, and this is the thing through high school, you know, I had a super serious concussion. I had to wear a concussion headgear through high school, and I didn't once I got to college. I decided not to. My favorite thing with Colton Long, though, is every time he goes to talk to the official, or there's stoppage in play, he takes off his headgear to talk to the official, and then puts it back on.
All right, enough conversation. Let's get this ball going here.
Yeah. Slowing the end of this, regular play down. Looks like we're finally going to have the goal kick, and that was a good wasted 3 minutes. So, You know, and that's the thing. When you add time on, that's a minimum. You know, he's going to make up for this time, so we might still have a couple minutes left in this one because of the time we just wasted.
We'll see. And we're now 2 hours in overall. This game started at 1. Just struck 3 o'clock now. So, yeah, I mean, I'd have to believe a minute or two at the most. We shall see. But really, this entire stoppage time has been spent in the Detroit zone, in the Detroit scoring zone. And Cleveland is just really getting lucky here that Detroit FC has not really put much together. They've had possession of it, but haven't really done anything with it.
And there you go. That is going to be the whistle, and here comes extra time now. And I'm not sure what player that is right now. We'll see in maybe just a minute, but the defender coming up, looks like Bell just clipped him right as the whistle was blown. Shoe slid off and took it off. He's going to walk off the field and put his shoe back on, get ready, as we have a break here, and we go into extra time.
We'll be right back on the Keon Sports Radio Network. All right, we are back here on the Keon Sports Radio Network as it is stoppage time. So 30 minutes to go. Add it onto the clock, Cole.
Yeah, and this is actually your extra time. And just for clarification for those who don't know, so what happens is stoppage time is at the end of a regular half. It's sometimes called stoppage time. It's sometimes called added time. That's to add on some extra time to whatever was left off from your substitutions, your injuries, your cards, some things like that. Extra time for those who aren't used to this, because in the regular season you can tie. In the playoffs you can't, 'cause somebody's got to advance. So extra time is 2 15-minute periods, so there's no golden goal or anything. Somebody scores, play continues on.
Right.
Get 15 minutes, halftime, a very short halftime, 15 more minutes. If the game is still tied at that point, you will see a time of penalties, and each team really gets 5 penalties is how it would work, and it could continue on from that. So certainly could be a lot more soccer on our hands in this one.
Yeah, great explanation too. I tried to explain that to my wife Emily the other night. We were watching the call on Friday, and she didn't understand why once we got up 4-3 in that game, why it wasn't over. Kind of walk her through it. And I told her it's not like football. Well, the way football used to be, where first score wins and that kind of stuff, or hockey for that matter. Booted out there. Good job defending.
That one right to the gut of Colton Long, took the wind out of him.
It did. Right placement though. But yeah, I kind of explained to her like it's a little bit different here in outdoor soccer, because even indoor soccer, first goal wins it in overtime.
Yeah, and golden goal is an old rule, and it's something that, say back in the days of Pele, and talking about your older players like that, the legends, the really, older guys who were doing it back in 60s and so on. You had the old golden goal rule, and some places like indoor soccer kept it, but I prefer the extra time of the 15 and 15. I think that's how soccer's played in the regular game, so it makes sense that it's expanded onto that. It does make it longer though.
See, Cole, it took 6 or 7 games working together, but we have our first disagreement of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I must say that if it was up to me, I wish they still had the golden goal. I'd say sudden death, no time on the clock at all, and just play it until someone scores. No goal kicks, just straight up. I'm telling you, zeros on the board. Whoever scores first wins it.
And here's the reason I'll disagree with you on that, because if you get a game where people aren't scoring, you could go 50, 60 minutes, and that would be way too long and ridiculous. So, I'm a person who's all for getting to PKs too. I was a guy through high school, took PKs, loved PKs, so you get to a PK shootout, and it's like, okay, this is fun. Of course, it's nerve-wracking for people, but I like the current format. It keeps the time very strict, and PKs can decide it. But I get the appeal if people are scoring quickly, but you always run the risk of soccer where you could play another full game without anybody scoring another goal.
I hear you. So I'll tell you what. I'll meet you halfway down the middle. I'll say this. I still think golden goal, but I'll say 2 10-minute halves, and then after those 2 halves, then sure, penalty kicks. But good job there out of Cleveland. But if somebody scores in either one of those halves, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll meet you halfway down the middle.
It's that way in college.
That's the way it should be.
In college soccer, it is, your golden goal with your extra time. And here's the funny thing, and this is talking some college rules now. You look in non-conference play, you can tie. There's no overtime. The thing is, if you're in conference play, so Baldwin Wallace, John Carroll, for example, two places Cleveland SC's played at in the past years.
True.
You get to a tie in that game, it goes to extra time, and you got your first 15 minutes. If somebody doesn't score in there, you got your second 15 minutes, and it's golden goal. If somebody scores, game's over. If nobody scores after those two extra times, it does end in a tie.
Now let me ask you this. So, and because you've played, you've now commentated, you know the sport better than I do. NPSL rules, if you know them. If a player's out of the game already, so obviously Buck's ejected, he doesn't count regardless. But let's say, let's use Naguki, for example.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If this ends up going to penalty kicks, can Naguki take one of those kicks?
No, it has to be all the guys on the field.
Wow. So now, more than ever, strategy really comes into play of who you take in and who you take out, because obviously in a penalty kick situation, you're going to want Manfoot, you're going to want Bell. So you really got to leave them in there.
Yeah, I would assume you leave Bell, especially with him scoring. I would assume you want him for your PKs. This is one where, Kurt Rainey actually, and this is the funny thing, and Rupel can take PKs, he can score them. Rupel's a guy who doesn't actually like PKs, and that's funny, but he does score them. So if he steps up in this game and we get to that, he can certainly score it. So I feel comfortable Rupel taking it. But Kurt Rainey, a guy who, if he's in, usually would take it instead of Rupel in college for us. Rainey, a guy who likes PKs a little bit more. So I think get Rainey in there. He's a guy who's used to taking PKs as well.
Strategy, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think for sure DeRezic would take one too. I've seen him take in the past. He's very, very good at them. So I would probably say Vinny Bell, Antonio Manfoot, Mikey D, Rupel, and Rainey. But we'll see where all that goes first.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Here comes Detroit. Good job there in the box by Canchar to knock it out. But here comes Detroit again. Still in the box. Shot. Header. No good. Oh, my goodness. An eyelash.
And if we see a defender take one, and I'm not necessarily sure, this is just off of speculation, I think of the four defenders, McAvenue would be the most likely to take a PK of that group. I've seen him hit some good strikes in this season, and I really think he could whip one into the back of the net with that left foot. So if it gets down more into the defenders and the guy wants to step up, I would feel pretty comfortable with McAvenue from what I've seen.
Well, and Detroit has not made any subs yet. Here we are 8 minutes into the first overtime, sorry. Detroit, honestly, I mean, they're playing with the 10 that they started with, minus the ejection. Right? I haven't seen any subs.
No subs for Detroit. The only sub in this game has been
Manfoot gets shoved.
And yeah, Manfoot got taken down there. So a good opportunity here. In this, they're going to get to swing it in. I know Manfoot wants it. I get that. He wants to put in. This is where I'd like to see he and Rupel switch over. I want to see a lefty take this one. I want to see it whipping towards frame rather than away from it. That's not what they're going to do here, but it can be pretty dangerous when you whip one in, and if it goes over the guy's heads and just skips down, it can go directly in or skips off and goes in the back of the net. So always that in-swinger is so dangerous.
And from Manfoot, booted out by Detroit. Looks like they're going to clear it. We had almost the 2-hour mark of this broadcast. This is kind of giving you an idea of how long those guys have been out on that hot pitch. Coming up on nearly 2 hours. So really fatigue has to be setting in. Here's Bobby Canchar back to Mario Musa to reset it. 9th minute of the first overtime.
I have no clue how Musa's wearing long sleeves in this one. Obviously, as a goalkeeper, it's nice to keep yourself protected, but still, it's got to be hot back there for the keeper.
Yeah, decked out in all black like that for sure. Cleveland legacy, man. They have had the legacy of Cleveland here in the NPSL. They've had some very good goalkeepers. Anthony Flowers of AFC Cleveland, the Royals back in 2016 of the National Championship team. Anthony Flowers, very, very good. He came back again in 17. Last year they had Alcott with Musa, so they've had a lot of talent between the pipes over the years.
Yeah, and I think we'll see as this team continues to play, but it's super questionable, and this isn't to insult any of the guys from 2016. I was there at your national championship game. Very good team. But it's up in the air of which one's the better team, this year's Cleveland SC team or that Royals team, because that would be a great game, and obviously some of the same players would have been there, so you would need like a copy of them to play out there, but it would be super interesting to see those two teams against
Thrown
each other.
from Saveco. Yeah, very much so. And the crazy thing was, so it was in 2016, like we just said, Manfoot got the winning goal in that championship game.
Yep.
And Manfoot left. I want to say, I'm not positive, guys, I want to say, pretty sure he went to Syracuse for 2017. I don't know the reasons behind it. But for AFC Cleveland in that 2017 season, they were noticeably absent without Manfoot.
Mm-hmm.
So, coming back last year with Cleveland SC in 2018, a very, very big deal. They got to the second round of the playoffs because of him. Well, he was one of the key reasons. And again, I mean, he's just a cog in this unit. Here's Saveco to clear it out again. Mikey D. And like you said, 10 on 10, you're going to see much more spacing. Rubel gets shoved if they don't call it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing with this is, Rupel not the biggest guy, not the strongest, but he has the speed, he has such the technical ability. If a guy gets his body into him like that, he can push him around a bit. But that's where it's dangerous, as you saw what Rupel was looking at. He was trying to flick it over him and beat him with the speed. That time it didn't work out. If the defender commits again like that, guarantee you it's going over his head and Rupel's gone. Gotta be careful versus him. It's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. All right, 12th minute underway now. Uh-oh, here comes Detroit. They got an opening. Crosses it, shot, deflection. Big time deflection there by Colton Long. That looked like a goal in the making. Beautiful cross by Detroit. They couldn't convert it. Cleveland with the ball back. Going to reset it here. I believe that's Nope, that's McAvenue. He'll reset it. Mikey D. And see here. Again, 10 on 10 soccer. Taking their time. Mikey D crossed the pitch. No one even near Manfoot. And Cleveland, Cole, boy, did they dodge one there. Could have been bad.
Yeah, and Colton Long turned his back to, hoping the ball didn't come up him in the face. Very fortunate that it hit his heels and went out. Bell's got to pass this off to Rupel here.
He does. We haven't seen much out of Bell in about an hour.
And Bell doesn't hop back on sides, I don't think. Nope. Looks like they're going to say he just got back on.
Here's Vinny Bell in the box. Rupel. Shot save! Upper deck time. Danny Rupel blasts one. And the Detroit defender stopped for a second. I don't know if they were waiting for an offsides or a foul or what the problem was, but Detroit stopped for a split second, and Danny Rupel almost made them pay. Vinny Bell in slow motion there, just kind of rolling around, and then all of a sudden Rupel comes out of nowhere and blasts one. And Cole, to the naked eye, it just kind of looks like Detroit was expecting a whistle there or something because they stopped.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I think maybe having it shift over, but I think it slowed down. And the weird thing, I thought Vinny Bell was offsides. Obviously, we can't see the line. It was close. Whatever it was close because Vinny didn't jump back really quickly like Rupel thought he was going to. Rupel flicked it to him with the outside of the foot. Bell got it. He kind of looked across for the flag. Nothing was there. So then he started dribbling. Got tackled. Rupel with a blast though.
Yep, corner kick. Been the same song and dance all day. Manfoot from the corner, and nothing occurs.
And here's a throw buried in the corner. You got to keep Detroit locked in here. This is an opportunity defensively.
Big time. Defensively, no doubt about it. So Manfoot goes across the pitch. Nothing there on a cross. Goes all the way out of play. And as Cole just said, it's going to be deep in the corner for a throw-in for Detroit. 14th minute. Each team's had one, fairly decent chance here in this first overtime. All right, Detroit looking to get it out of there.
And Bobby way up.
Yeah, he was. And you see how quick he sprinted out of there?
Yeah,
like a bolt of lightning.
Back.
I didn't realize he was that quick. He floored it to get back. Well, Detroit looking to get it done right now. A little over a minute to go. Overtime number 1 of 2. Here comes Detroit. Back in the box they go. Good header there. Still with Detroit. Double header. Number 9 has it. Looking, taking his time. 30 comes over. Gonna try to set it up right now. Detroit looking to strike. Cleveland has to keep their focus here. This is dangerous. This is where we've seen them slip up time and time again. Detroit has it. About 18 yards out. Here comes Detroit. Puts it in. Wow. A weak offering there right to Musa. Interesting.
Detroit's starting to look just as tired as Cleveland SC so far in this game. Again, they haven't made any substitutions to Cleveland's one.
No.
Game's really slowed down. Haven't been able to find Vinny Bell up top either. He's kind of just been
Bell's done nothing.
Done nothing so far in this extra time. And
in the second half, too.
Yeah, second half as well. And the guy who we were talking about, we've seen him run around a lot today. It's like, man, he's hit his peak fitness. But again, regardless, you get this long of a game, you get the heat, and he's starting to get tired up there.
Collision midfield. Down goes Antonio Manfoot. No whistle. Play goes on. About 5 seconds left, and we'll see if there's stoppage time. I don't think there's going to be much. If there is, maybe a minute of this first half of overtime. The Musa saves it. We're waiting on a whistle here, fans.
That should be about it.
Manfoot in pain. A little guy like him, I mean, he always puts himself in the midst. But he might have caught an elbow to the ribs. I'm not real sure.
And there was no call there because it was 50-50.
There it is.
The initial contact was from Detroit. And then Manfoot came through and he pushed him from behind. So, again, then Manfoot went to ground. No call there. Hopefully he gets up and he's okay. Again, a guy you'd like to see up there who can take PKs if this does go to that point. But we'll see what happens when we come back from the short halftime from this extra time. Again, 2-2.
Yep. 2-2 as we head to overtime, number 2 of 2. 2s across the board. We'll be right back on the Keon Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Keon Sports Radio Network. I'm Vince McKee alongside Cole McDaniel. We welcome you into hour 3 of this broadcast. I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth. But here we are, the Iron Men, as we approach double overtime. I'm sorry, second half of the overtime, but I call it double overtime. So here we go, NPSL playoffs. The Elite Eight is upon us. Cleveland and Detroit. Vince McKee alongside Cole McDaniel to walk you through it very quickly here. In that first half, there were 2 goals, both of them coming late in the first half, one in stoppage time by Detroit, that being on a penalty kick to make it 2-0 at the half. Cleveland came out like a house on fire, scored within the first 5 minutes of the second half to make it 2-1. And I want to say that, yes, it was Tom Beck. And then the second goal, if you can imagine like a breakaway in football, I mean, just no one near him. Antonio Manfoot, nobody near Manfoot, did not get called for offsides, thank goodness. Puts it between the pikes. And just like that, 2-2, that was in, I want to say, the 60th minute or so, maybe a little bit earlier than that, maybe the 55th minute. Either way, since then, it has been 2-2, and that is where we are right now. There were no goals in the first half of overtime. Here we are in the second half of overtime. And again, welcome you back, Vince McKee with Cole McDaniel.
And a quick reminder, too, that Cleveland SC's last game was on Friday. They went 120 minutes in that game. So far, 225 minutes, actually, for this team so far this weekend. So we're about to see another 15 guaranteed. So they're going to play a full 240 minutes this weekend, and there could be PKs on the line as well, so a lot for these legs.
Really just amazing. We are back with it now. Here comes Detroit, and really Detroit has dominated the first 15 minutes of the overtime. Really, they got a couple good looks too, but they've had the possession of the ball almost this entire time. Like we've said, we really need to see Vinny Bell do something here. He's been quiet, so is Koniarczyk, has also been quiet. And boy, there goes Manfoot again. I don't know if he's cramping or what's going on. This might be cramps because he just went right down again. Yeah, I think it's cramping, Cole.
Yeah, Manfoot struggling, and it's his calf. He's cramping right now. And this could be...
That's the worst pain.
This could be a problem because it's happened a couple times. I think we're going to start seeing some more movement on the bench. And
yeah, look at him screaming in pain.
Manfoot's probably coming out here. There's no way that he's going to be able to continue on with going down twice in the last couple minutes.
I mean, that's the thing, too. You know, you get cold water on them, some spray. They got a special kind of spray that they use. There's ways around it, but that's only temporary relief. And then, I mean, the next day you try to get out of bed, forget it. You're limping. Especially if that turns into a Charlie horse and you feel that muscle roll back up. I mean, I've had them. It's one of the few things I've had in my life where I get those every now and then in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping. You wake up to the worst pain.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, you know, you're an athlete, you play for so long. I've had games on the heat, or you have tournaments and you play like multiple games back to back when you're younger, and then say you go out to eat and you're at the restaurant and then just cramp up. It can happen at any anytime, and playing in these hot days, and like we mentioned, the mileage on these legs and the time they've played just this weekend. So
He's still down on the sidelines.
yeah, I think now down to 9 men at the moment for Cleveland SC. Reminder, Tom Beck was sent off with a red card. Detroit also playing with 10, but now a man down, Cleveland SC for the moment, as Manfoot's on the sideline.
Well, the thing too here, I mean, this is really where playoff soccer comes into play simply because regular season situation, whatever the case may be, a non-penalty kick situation, I don't think they hesitate to get Manfoot out of this game, play with a full roster, full strength here. But the problem is he is so doggone good at penalty kicks. You want to, I don't have the words for it. I mean, what a conundrum for Osborne right now, because you don't want to take Manfoot out of this game because he's so darn good at those penalty kicks. But at the same time, do you really want to play with 9 guys and hope that you get to the penalty kicks and he's okay to get out there and boot one? I mean, what do you do?
And I wouldn't. I would make the substitution here. I'd make your Rupel substitution. Your other option's probably Reese Daly.
You mean Rainey? Make the Rainey substitution.
Yeah, Rainey. Yeah, Kurt Rainey. My bad. But yeah, Rainey. I would think about putting him out there. Reese Daly may be another option to go out there as well. But like I said, we've talked about it. That Rupel Rainey thing's been your main thing off of the bench this season. So I think it's got to be Rupel.
McAvenue gets it taken away from him again. Here comes Detroit. Up a man, 10-9, as Manfoot is on the sidelines right now. They are attending to him. This is very dangerous.
And I see a head down there next to the fourth official. Some darker hair. Looks like that will be Rainey. We will get confirmation on that in just a minute when the ball does go out of play. But I do believe the substitution is about to be made.
Time will tell right now. And that is a costly blow. And not that we don't like Rainey. We love Kurt Rainey. You've heard us talk about Kurt Rainey all season long. But, man, to lose Manfoot for those possible penalty kicks, that stinks. Because you would have figured, we thought all along it would be Koniarczyk coming off for Rainey. We did not see this. But, as we said, there's nothing you can do about cramps. There's absolutely nothing you can do. You saw LeBron James have to leave an NBA Finals game because of them. So, I mean, it's serious stuff. It's nothing life-threatening by any stretch. It's nothing that's going to debilitate you for more than a day. But when those come, the second time around, if they hit your choice in one game, that's pretty much it. You could come back from it once, but that second time. Here comes Detroit. Shot. Nope. Good job there by Colton Long. Holy smokes.
And Colton Long getting up hurt a little bit. That was from a bad tackle. He went in, got fortunate. Nothing there on the challenge, but hopefully he's okay. Vinny Bell having to fight everybody off there.
Looked like it. All right, here comes Cleveland. Here's Saveco. Is it official now that Rainey's in the game? Did they make that official? Or is he just... I just saw him standing there. I haven't seen him in yet.
Right now is the first time the ball's gone out.
All right.
Rainey coming in for Manfoot.
It's big. Jeez, man, Cleveland can't catch a break today. Between Beck and... really, 2 of their best penalty kick guys in a situation like this won't be in there.
Yep, 2 of the best.
Sorry, 3, because Soljevic.
Yeah, because of Soljevic. So, thankfully, Rupel and Rainey, guys used to taking PKs, guys we would expect to take in this game. But yeah, certainly, Admir, your set piece master of this team, and then Manfoot, who we know has taken some PKs in the past, and also Tom Beck, a goal scorer, so he would step up. Leave some question in the eyes of Coach Ryan Osborne. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe he could go to Koniarczyk. Maybe he could grab one of the defenders and take one. But
we still all have to save that one.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. As again, nothing is. You never know because something could change in the next 8 minutes. But right now, it looks so slow that I don't see a goal happening unless a counter right here happens.
Look at Rainey flying down there. You mentioned it. Kurt Rainey just trying to get in a position there. Floored it. Yeah, it is really strategy time now. Both coaches really have to use some serious strategy. This is a situation where you would almost think, normally, if you're protecting a 3-2 lead, you'd see Vinny Bell come out. But now you just got to hold Bell could last as long as possible to get to those penalty kicks if it happens.
Right, and here's what we're seeing Detroit, super slow on the attack, but they're sending up 6 guys. So they're sending up their midfielders and their forwards. They're going on the attack. And then as soon as Cleveland wins it, they come down, and it's just Rupel has to run all the way back up to join Rainey and Bell at the moment. And it's those 3 going at the 4 defenders of Detroit. Then if they lose it, Detroit comes back with their 6. It's literally the middle of the field is not being used right now.
Nope.
It's just running back and forth. And that is an exhausting way to play the game of soccer.
Here's the kickoff. One heck of a boot from Musa. All the way across midfield. Vinny Bell heads it in. Detroit should come up with this any second here. They do. A little under 7 minutes to go here.
Good
About
steal by
6.5.
Rainey.
Here comes Cleveland. With the ball. In the box. Bell. Vinny Bell has it. A boot by Bell. Nope.
And Detroit doing a good job as Rupel was in. He didn't have the numbers. It was 1v3. He was going to maybe look to cut in and shoot it. Nothing there. So the room he had was to go out to Rainey, overlapping on the right-hand side. Ball got deflected. Went back to Bell. He took the shot. But, I mean, it's what I had just said. It's literally Rainey, Rupel, and Bell versus the whole defense at the moment. And you're hoping to get something because Mikey D and Coney Arsic are having to sit back with the defense.
Yep. This is something. Okay, so with Manfoot out of the game, Mikey D will be doing the corner kick here. What the heck is that? All right, interesting. Detroit's finest. Come out to support him. Cross, Saveco, no. And Cleveland's going to have to get back now. Cleveland needs to get back on defense because here comes Detroit.
Well done by Coney Arsic to get to the backside, but another one coming. Colton Long's got to make the long sprint.
Yeah, he does because this is that was a corner kick on horribly wrong. Detroit almost used it as a turnover momentum to get all the way down and score, and that was crazy.
Well done by the midfield to get back and help. Again, Mikey D was up there for the corner. He took the corner kick, so he stayed up. But Coney Arsic really helped save them as he sprinted all the way back and helped out McAvenue on the backside.
Shot by Detroit. Good save there by Musa. And Cole, you said it. Detroit doesn't look like they have much left on those shots.
No, I mean, you can see that the legs are gone. The pace is gone on the shots.
No zip.
No, nothing. I mean, they're getting forward, and we're seeing it. Like I said, no midfield being used. They're going really 6v6, 6v7 versus the Cleveland defense. And then on the other side, it's 3v4 every time. And here it is again.
Oh.
Rainey has it.
Rupel and Rainey. Here we go. Rainey to Rupel. Here's Danny Rupel. Oh! If Rainey would have crossed it, they could have had something. All right, back to Mikey D. Mikey D has it. This could be it right now to Rainey. Here comes Rainey. Shot save by the goalkeeper of Detroit. But I loved what I saw there, Cole. I really did.
Yep. That's what I'm used to seeing all the time. Rainey and Rupel. Rainey finds him. Rupel wanted to cut to that left foot, just got poked away from him. If he got on his left foot, you know that's a goal because he will rocket it off of that left foot. Again, goes out to Mikey D, finds Rainey through. Nearly a goal. Good kick saved by the keeper. That is positive from Cleveland SC right there.
Absolutely. Now you see Jalen Chrysler on the defense of Detroit. He's cramping up. He might have to come off the pitch.
The only guys with energy right now are Rupel and Rainey on this field because they haven't played this full game. How has Detroit not made a substitution?
I don't know, and you just saw it firsthand. And here comes the first sub of the game. Yep, Seb Harris will come in. So there it is, the first sub of the game for Detroit. Took the words out of Cole's mouth.
That's because of Rainey and Rupel going at them.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Unbelievable afternoon of soccer. Mikey D, 2.5 minutes to go. Second half of overtime. Here it comes. Oh, great job there. Great job of the Detroit goalkeeper. Comes right out and stuffs it.
2.5 minutes left.
Hunter Morse. Let's write that name down and remember it, fans, because Hunter Morse and Mario Musa are going to be the two stars of this penalty kick situation if it happens.
Man, Rainey just ran all the way back from that left wing spot he's really playing at right now. Back to the 18 to help defend.
A little bit of a shove there. Shot! Oh my goodness! Musa saves it! Woo-wee!
And that deflection, that ball was hit. It either hit off of Rainey or McAvenue, who was right there, and it went back the wrong way. And Musa's able to recover and get to it. He hurt his shoulder a bit, but a great save. It's all going to be worth it in the end.
That would have been an own goal, technically, right?
I believe that one looked like it was going on frame, so I would guess that would have been their goal. It all depends upon the angle. So the whole thing is if it deflects off of somebody and the shot was going off frame, that is an own goal. But if it was going on frame, it will still count.
Okay.
There. That one's one of those where it's iffy because you can't quite tell. So it could have gone either way. Cleveland SC dodges a bullet.
Big time. About a minute and a half to go. As we had Manfoot exit with some cramps, so I'd imagine there's going to be a little bit of stoppage time, not much. But I'd say about a minute right now, a little over a minute to play until penalty kicks. And you called it. Look at him. He's rubbing that shoulder as Musa. So he definitely landed on it hard.
Yep, he came down a little funny on that save, but it's all worth it. Hopefully it doesn't bother him in the PKs, though, and that's if he has to dive to his left-hand side, that could be an issue.
I see him cramping up, walking off there. Detroit guy, he's done.
Yeah, and that was their one sub they've made so far in this game.
Like you said, they were kind of forced into it by the action of Rupel and Rainey.
Yep.
All right, fans, 30 seconds to go, plus a little bit of stoppage time. I might give you a minute at the most of stoppage time.
Hopefully Cleveland SC wins the ball here. Then they'd have one last counter.
Mm-hmm.
And this corner will probably kill the half. So as long as you can defend this, get it out. We're going to see some PKs, folks.
Wow. High drama from Detroit. Here we go, though. Cleveland needs to keep their focus. Right now, this is major. A corner kick, 30-minute mark right now of overtime, so this is going to be it. Corner kick from Detroit, shot, over the net it goes. That should do it. Cleveland will get one crack at it, I'd imagine, and that should be it. We'll see.
Whistle will probably go when Musa boots it upfield.
More than likely.
And it's probably going to come here, but we'll see. Once he gets the ball, gets it set, blasts it up the field, we'll see if the official's going to add on a minute or if he's just going to call it.
Man, it's all Yevik and Manfoot are both so good at penalty kicks. I mean, this
Here
is
comes
just...
Koniarczyk. Looks like he's maybe coming off, or he's getting some water.
Yeah, just water. That's it. I think we're going to penalty kicks here.
I think they're taking a break because of the smoke bombs again.
Okay.
They're trying to for visibility, he's trying to let the field clear. Because again, for those who, are seeing this, or for those who, haven't watched this game and will listen to this back, one thing is, the smoke bombs go off. Sometimes they'll blow different directions. The wind is blowing it directly across the field. So as soon as the smoke bomb goes off on the far side, it's blowing across, affects visibility, and it's led to the officials having to decide, hey, for the player's safety and for the sake of the game, we need to wait.
Play restarts. Booted by Musa. Headed out by Vinny Bell. Kurt Rainey running it down. We'll have a throw in here, but I gotta believe this is gonna be it, and there should be a whistle.
Rainey to Bell, and
Rainey screaming for the ball.
Wants the ball back. Ball boy gets it to him. Might have an opportunity here if he gets the throw in.
Gotta do it right now, though.
Yeah.
This should be it, folks.
Okay,
Kurt Rainey will throw it in, and then you're going to hear a whistle within seconds. Bell back to Rainey. Rainey
has to play it back to McAvenue.
And that should
Ball
do it.
in, Rupel, and keeper comes out. Man.
Dangerous move there.
Interesting.
All right, penalty kicks it is, unless something bizarre happens in about a split second. I don't know, man. There should be a whistle here in a second.
The official did. I think he's going to give a minute or two. It seems.
Oh!
Like, and man, Koniarczyk came in hard. That's a way to stop the counter and blow it up.
I'd say so.
Koniarczyk,
a football challenge hit there. All right, Detroit. Now they're going to get their last crack at it. Where the old Alleman Cafe sign.
You're fascinated by those signs over there, right?
As a salesman, yes. Need some more sponsors for Keon Sports. They hit up some Detroit games. All right, Colt Long boots it out.
There's the whistle.
Yep.
PKs, here we come.
Well, high drama develops now.
Well, we might as well talk about, we know this team super well, so I think it's time to give our best guesses of who's going to step up and be the main five. I would guess Bell, Derezik, Rupel, Rainey, and you know what? I think, even though I'd like it to be McAvenue, I feel like because Colton Long's the captain, I think the captain might step up to take one.
I'm gonna agree with you on 4 of those. I'm gonna definitely say Mikey D, Rupel, Rainey, Bell, and I'm gonna say probably not Colton Long. I think it is gonna be McAvenue, but we'll see.
Okay. I would like to see McAvenue, but again, I'm curious
And I
to
wanna
see
be-
if the captain has a say.
Very true, and I wouldn't be shocked if Saveco. Oh, and I'll say this because Saveco in situations, even as a defender, in scoring situations, he's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys practice this behind closed doors. We don't see who practices, so we'll see as this develops here.
So, a reminder for those who really don't know how it works, we went through the first half, the normal 45 minutes, halftime, the second 45. Game was tied. You go into extras. It's 2 15-minute periods. That's what we're through. Now, this is the second time Cleveland SC's done this weekend, so they've gone 245 minutes of game time. Now we got our PKs here. And so you get 5 PK takers, and then it's all about who can win it from there. So if one team scores all 5, one team has 4, that ends it. But if things stay tied and it continues to go on, it will continue to advance. And if you already use those 5, you just keep going through the starting lineup.
Right.
So,
but if you get up 4-2, you win.
correct. You get up 4-2. It's all about the advantage of the numbers.
Right.
If a team has no chance of getting to winning that 5, then it's done.
Yeah.
So it ends at that point. So a team misses their first 2 shots, one team scores all 3, it's done there. But again, if you get through those 5, it's still tied. Then what happens is you continue through the rest of the lineup. So there is a possibility that you could see Mario Musa hitting a PK as well, because you have to go through that.
Yep.
He has to go through all 11 guys on the field
That's crazy,
before
isn't it?
you cycle back through.
Yeah.
So, I doubt not often do you see it go all the way through, but there are games where you go through the PK shootout, and that's what happens. But again, Vince and I have given our guesses, and I think we pretty much for the most part agree on who we think should be stepping up on this team. I think we both agree we'd like to see McAvenue in that 5.
Yep.
But like I said, I'm not quite sure if
You saw Soljevic in that
They'll do
huddle
that.
in street clothes. I mean, that just shows you how close this team is. Soljevic, as you know, is probably killing him inside that he can't be playing right now. So,
Soljevic
yeah.
loves his set pieces. So
yeah, Manfoot too. I mean, this is brutal. So here we go. I can't imagine what's going on with Tom Beck right now in that locker room.
I would guess the first guy stepping up for this has to be an experienced guy. My guess is Vinny Bell will be the first to take a PK here.
All right, fans, thank you again for joining us. Let us know what you think of the broadcast. Tweet at us at Keon Sports. Email me, coachvin14@yahoo.com. And Morse for Detroit here, getting ready.
Yeah, this is exciting. Is this your first PK shootout to
Yeah,
talk about?
this is my first
Yeah.
time I've ever called one.
Yeah, definitely PK shootouts. I've never, had to call one, talk about it, but played in games where I've been in PK shootouts and taken them. So
I think you might
it's
be right.
fun.
Oh, I can't imagine. It's got to be a blast. I think you're right, though, with Vinny Bell leading off here. We'll see.
I feel like, my opinion is, I feel like you'd put experience at the beginning and the end. I'd put Vinny Bell at your 1. I'd put Mikey D at your 5, and do experience, and balance it out. I'd put the young guys in the middle, because the pressure situations are oftentimes 1 and 5.
All right, goalkeepers meeting with the officials now. And I'll say the one thing for the officials, no pressure on them for the most part. Just blow a whistle.
The only thing is, of course, watching a line. The big thing for the officials is making sure the person who's taking the PK doesn't do a stutter step and completely stop. You always have to have forward momentum as a PK taker. And then with the goalkeeper, it has to stay on the line until the ball's struck. So one foot must be on the line, so they have to make sure that the guy's not jumping off, because that would result in a retake of the PK if the keeper does jump off of the line.
All right. White knuckle time, and Mikey D apparently is going to start it off.
And here's your experience, and this is why
And you'll see him blast one.
I thought they'd put him at 1 or 5. I was guessing it was going to be 5, but putting him at 1 smart. Always, I would say, try to get the experienced guys in the more pressure situations.
And guys, once this starts, it goes quick. It'll be all on that end of the field, which we've seen all 4 goals come as well.
And Morris, a guy we've seen, he's made some good saves today. He's a pretty good keeper. Again, hopefully Musa didn't hurt his shoulder too bad on that deflected save he had a little bit ago, but certainly this could be interesting here. And Mikey D gets to step up for this PK. I assume he's going to go low. We see him go low a lot on his shots.
I wouldn't see much technique here. He'll hold his blasted like he usually does. There it is. Shot goal! And Mikey DeRezic gets it going early now for Cleveland. They're up 1-0 in the penalty kick situation. And like you called it, low into the corner.
And that one he passed with the inside of the foot. Not too much pace on there. Keeper was able to get over. Morse got his fingertips on it, but he was not able to steer it wide. Goes into the side of the net. Cleveland SC gets the first goal, and that's important to get that first one, get things rolling. But again here, we see a guy who's already stepped up. He's taken a PK in the regular action in the first half today. He went low into that bottom corner, and I think he might go there again. He doesn't. Switches sides. So Musa guessed wrong on him both times.
He did. Looked like he was going to go to that same spot again, and he didn't. Went top right corner. And just like that, Detroit will tie it up 1-1 here in the penalty kill situation. And Cole, as we watch this, I mean, it's an unbelievable, toll it takes on the goalkeeper's body because you're diving 5 straight times in a matter of probably 2 minutes.
Super Mario Moose is going to take the second PK.
Interesting. Well, he's a strong kicker. I mean, we've seen that all year long. And again, without Manfoot, without Seljevic, without Beck, here comes Musa, and he can't score. Kick save by Detroit.
And the danger with goalkeepers you oftentimes see when they hit PKs because they hit it like they're taking goal kicks. So sometimes you see them sail it over. A lot of times you see them try to go right down the middle and just power it.
And he did
That's what Musa did. He just went down the middle, powered, and kick save by the goalkeeper. First miss of the PK shootout for Cleveland SC. I'm surprised Musa was selected out of that group to take one.
Again, in a situation like this, without Seljevic, without Beck, without Manfoot, I think that's more than likely why they're having, because those are 3 guys that absolutely would have been taking penalty kicks.
Here's your substitution.
Shot. Oh, and he misses. Cleveland dodges a bullet, put it between the football uprights right behind the goal, and it'll remain 1-1. That is big time right there. 1-1 as we go to round 3 of this. As Cole, he kind of shot that right through the middle.
We're watching NPSL soccer. Okay, these guys have played for a long time. These are good players. And I actually don't even think that was laces. I would like to see this one back because I believe that was a toe blow. And we saw a toe blow in a pretty high level of soccer. And here comes McAvenue up, a guy who we thought would take one today.
What an incredible kick save there as they just showed a Detroit save again on Moose's kick. And excellent job.
I have a good feeling about McAvenue. I have about him taking PK. I've seen him have a really good season.
Here he comes, the shot, and it is, whoa, it's good. This one finds the back of the net. Didn't really do much with it, kind of dribble it in, but hey.
Calm and composed, just put it right in. I think he moved his shoulders, faked out the keeper a little bit.
Big time.
A lot of PKs that people don't realize is the shoulders. Whichever way the shoulders are going, the chest is going to send it in that direction. So, you give him a little bit of a fake to that side, starts to dive, and then you go back the other way. So
that was incredible, too, because, I mean, he knew he had him faked out so bad, he just kind of tapped it.
He did.
Good.
Very
nice and smooth control. Yeah.
I'm happy McAvenue did step up like we were hoping he would.
All right, here we go. Cleveland up 2-1, round 3. Detroit's turn to take it. Us being the number 1 seed is weird we don't have it. Shot, yep, you call. Cole called that to a T. Shot good by Detroit, ties it up 2-2 as we move to round 4. And Cole Nostradamus McDaniel called that one to perfection of exactly where he was going.
Yep, right shoulder opened up, and then he pointed directly towards that far corner and opened up and whipped it around.
All right. 2 goals apiece, 2 rounds to go.
Here comes Coney Arsic.
Interesting. Neither one of us put him on our top 5.
No, we didn't think he would. And he's a guy who I thought would be like a 6th option.
Right. So we haven't seen Rupel, Rainier, Bell.
We have not seen those guys yet. Guys that I feel pretty comfortable about them taking PKs.
Going to be very interesting now to see who gets it. Here he comes. Shot. Saved. And that might do it. Big time save by Detroit. puts Cleveland in serious jeopardy right now.
He didn't look. That's one of those you can read guys too. It didn't look that comfortable him walking up, and he didn't hit the ball with conviction at all. And I get it, McAvenue didn't hit with conviction the last time when he struck. He didn't hit with a lot of pace. But the difference with McAvenue was he just looked comfortable and looked like he had the goalkeeper figured out. I think Koniarczyk just hit it on frame and hoped that it would go in. But
I mean, that was odd.
Very short run up, nothing much there. Super. It's frustrating for us to watch this because, you want to have some more of an impact than you can with this. You're kind of at the mercy, especially when you're one of those teammates out
Shot!
there.
And he missed it, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, he missed
so this
it
game
high.
remains tied. Musa dodges the bullet there, missed it high. And as Cole said, us as announcers, we can only do so much to help. I mean, really nothing at all, to be honest with you.
And not
Here
just
comes
as
Vinny Bell.
announcers, the guys, his teammates on the line, too. It's like, oh, man, this is when you really have to rely on your teammates because you have no power over what they're going to do. You can tell a guy to do something, but it's their decision when they get up there for the PK. So this is when you have no clue what's going to happen.
All right, without Soljevic, without Beck, without Manfoot, Vinny Bell absolutely has to step up right here.
2-2.
He needs to show his mettle. Bell has to step up. Here we go. 2-2. Bell, the approach, the shot, set, goal! Goal! Beautiful job there by Vinny Bell. I almost said save. It looked like the goalkeeper for Detroit was going to get a beautiful kick save, but for some reason he never lifted his foot, and Bell goes right down the middle, nice and easy. I'm telling you guys, that looked for sure like it was going to be saved. Vinny Bell finds the back of the net. Here we go. Hold on tight. We are at the 2.5 hour mark of this broadcast. If you are still with us, God bless you. This is now the time where all of this hard work should pay off. Reset the table. The drama is high. Cleveland trailed in this game 2-0 at the half. They've come back like gangbusters to tie it. We've been through 30 minutes of overtime, and away we go. Cleveland leads this 3-2 in overtime. Detroit, Musa set. Referee set whistle. The kick. It's over! It is over! Cleveland wins it in dramatic fashion. Cole, walk us through it as they celebrate.
And the final PK for Detroit City FC. They needed it to end up tying this up and continuing on the PK shootout. Ball blasted over the crossbar and up through the uprights. I cannot believe it. We just saw 3 PKs. 3 PKs from Detroit City FC out of those 5. Blast up through the uprights. You hardly ever see that with these quality of players, and just launched it. And Cleveland SC continues to celebrate as that ball still hasn't landed, probably, as they're out on the field and celebrating.
Here's some back.
That is exciting. And there we have our 2019 NPSL Midwest Region champs, Cleveland SC. So how about that? The top seed has to go up to Detroit. We don't host it. You and I, we're not directly there for the broadcast as they have their team out there, but we are the ones who come away with the victory, and we couldn't be happier as we're calling this podcast style. And I'll tell you what, it's one of those things where you'd love to be there for this, but I'm so happy to see this team advance, and I'm so happy to see what's going to happen in the next couple weeks as we have hit the Final Four now in the NPSL. This is unbelievable.
This is absolutely unbelievable. We thank you, everybody, for joining us. Bobby Canchar, I don't know if there's 2 happier guys on that pitch right now than Canchar and Colton Long, who made 2 really bad mistakes in the first half to allow both those goals. We see our main man there, Gary Wiggins. Just incredible, incredible stuff, guys. We thank you for joining us. The final score today, Cleveland 3, Detroit 2. For Cole McDaniel, I am Vince McKee. Thank you for joining us on the Kion Sports